Everything was going our way.
It hurt a little bit, but you know, you got to get over it. It's not the end of the season. It wasn't like we were going in for a regional match.
It was an amazing feeling of excitement, accomplishment, just all those things that we've worked hard for. We finally did it.
So, Phil, the Gators have been beaten. They've been beaten on their home floor, but when it comes to championship matches, that's a different story.
Well, it really is, and Tennessee's here for the first time, but I'm going to say one word today that's going to define this match. It's called blocking. Whoever blocks the best will win this match. We earlier saw these two teams in Knoxville. It was Florida with a dominating blocking performance, 21-6 in team blocks. Well, last Sunday, Tennessee turned that around, winning that 14.5 to 11. That's the watchword of the day, the front lines where all the action is.
Well, it's the rubber match between the Vols and the Gators. Nothing's been decided yet. Plenty to be decided here today. We'll be back in a moment.
Whoa, whoa, Pepperman. I got my own.
Is that your cell phone?
Yeah, it's got all kinds of features.
Like email and text messaging?
No, but it's got this. It's Parmesan. It's cheese.
That's practical.
Do we think alike or what? With Alltel Access, you get the things you need. The latest games, ringtones, email, and more. It makes your phone more than a phone. The features you really need?
You got that right.
Alltel.
I don't know what I was thinking.
I tried to tell you, genius.
I can't believe I'm in this situation. We're not having fun anymore.
I'm feeling your pain.
I don't know what to do.
Hey, look at me. We all make mistakes.
Told you about the tires, huh?
Yeah. You should have gotten Cooper.
Buying tires is a big decision. Next time, get everything you want. Cooper Tires. Don't give up a thing.
Meet Bob. Bob went to Arizona. His friend went to Nebraska. And their other friend, Florida State. Now they all live together in LA. So how do they follow their favorite college teams? With Fox College Sports, featuring over 800 NCAA games each year on 3 regionally aligned channels. FCS Pacific, FCS Central, and FCS Atlantic. All the games that matter in one powerful package. You're watching Fox College Sports. For more information on program listings, log on to foxcollegesports.com. Fox College Sports, where college never ends.
IMAX, weeknights on FSN.
For the second time in a week, it is the Gators and the Vols here at the O'Connell Center. This one for the SEC Tournament Championship. Let's meet the starting lineup for the Tennessee Vols.
Julie Neidig, setter. Amy Morris, outside hitter. Michelle Panadosi, outside hitter. Julia Spiranova, right side hitter. Sarah Bloom, middle hitter.
Kristen Andre, middle blocker.
Annie Sadowski, defensive specialist.
And Rob Patrick in his 8th season has led the Vols to one of their best records in school history and their highest ranking ever. There you see his record, 162-85 in 8 seasons. Now let's meet the starters for the Florida Gators.
Guinness, setter. Jane Collymore, outside hitter. Marcy Hanson, outside hitter.
Shira Williams, middle blocker.
Michelle Chapman, middle blocking. Lauren Moskowitz, defensive specialist. Rachel Engel, libero.
And the 2-time National Coach of the Year, 10-time SEC Coach of the Year, Mary Wise in her 14th season here in Gainesville. And looking to add yet maybe another tournament title to her resume. And we are underway. And right away, the kill goes long, a point to Tennessee.
Well, Florida has to be patient with their offense, as does Tennessee. So I said blocking when we started this. I also should have said patience. Whatever team shows the best patience and blocks the best. And guess what just happened?
Right away, Michelle Chapman denied on the right side. So a quick 2-0 lead for the Lady Vols. As Amy Morris serves it up for the Volunteers. Back row attack from Collymore.
Dug out.
Can Morris get it over? Not that time.
Good defensive work by the Volunteers. Florida getting the ball back, but again, that's actually a situation where Tennessee got the advantage because they slowed things down pretty well for the Gators in that offensive sequence.
Gators leading the all-time series 32-6, but they split this season, each winning on the other's home floor. And the championship being decided here on the Gators' home floor. Point to Kristen Andre, who comes up with the kill, and now will step back and serve.
And one of my discussion points with Mary Wise earlier today was the off-speed shots from Tennessee were one of the things their team not only had to dig well, but also had to convert. So there you see Kristen Andre doing a nice job with off-speed, and Marcy Hampton kind of returning the favor.
Directs it around the double-team block on the right side. It's 3-2 in favor of Tennessee. Moskovic set to serve now for Florida.
Tight pass.
Knightic sets it for Bloom, and look, miscommunication between Williams and Hampton.
And again, that's a ball that Florida should not only dig, but dig it. Again, if you can get this big Tennessee team to hit them, you've got to convert them.
Julie Knightic serving for Tennessee. Up 4-2. Williams dinks down in the middle.
I think we're going to have to battle the off-speed shots here in the early going, Kevin. It looks like we have basically everybody kind of looking and focusing on the notion of just finding open floor. Idea when you have a championship match and both teams are a little bit tight.
Piantadosi. Collymore gets a piece of it, but a kill for Michelle Piantadosi and a 5-3 lead for Tennessee. Now let's meet the third member of our crew. Reporter on the sidelines today is Jen Hildreth. Jen?
And Phil's talked about blocking and how important it is going to be in this match. Consider this, Florida has only been outblocked 3 times all season. Those 3 times, coincidentally, they're 3 losses, including that last time around in Tennessee. Now, if Florida is to get the victory here today, they're going to need a huge performance from their senior middle blocker, Sherry Williams. She led the conference in blocks during the regular season and is very athletic. On the other side, kind of hard to miss for Tennessee, Sarah Bloom. She's 6'3", very dominating presence, one of the tallest in the conference, and she has had 10 blocks in each of the last 2 games. Those 2 players, guys, are going to be key.
No doubt about it. Mary Wise told us yesterday the team that blocks the most in this match will win it, and that's the way it swung in both matches earlier this season. As McInnes gets another point for Florida, going over in 2, and Taylor Williams coming in to serve.
I love that jump float serve Taylor hits, and it usually takes teams out of their offense, and there's a score. Now the trap set goes. Stoyanova had really had no place to go with that ball, so that's a block to Florida that's kind of a freebie almost in that situation. But Jen's absolutely right. It's Sherry Williams of Florida. It's Sarah Bloom for Tennessee. We'll watch them a lot. And Sarah Bloom's on a tear right now blocking. She has been really dominating the
assists in both tournament matches so far here in Gainesville. 6-5 lead for the Vols. Stoyanova once again low on the set, and there was Chapman.
Yeah, and again, credit Florida with not getting over anxious and reaching in. Moskovic with a big dig to start this off. Stoyanova going for an off-speed shot. But Chapman was having none of it. Look how high over the net this athletic Florida team really causes trouble for you if you're not doing things well.
There, Stoyanova gets a good swing, but dug out by Moskovic. All-speed shot for Hampton is a winner.
Yep, the back row off-speed shot, a trademark Florida play. And again, all keyed off of Lauren Moskovic's dig. Look at that, one-arm layout. Beautiful dig by the former setter, now defensive specialist. And Hampton, short left corner, smart play.
Taylor Williams making a difference coming off the bench from the serving line. Tennessee handles this one, and Sarah Bloom right on the line.
So big in the middle and so quick to put the ball away.
So we're tied again at 7 apiece. Bloom out. There's Kristen Andre in the front row. And once again, a passing error from Hampton.
Marcy Hampton became somewhat of a target yesterday when they were playing when Florida's playing the semifinals against Georgia, and she needs to have a strong passing performance today to keep this Tennessee team from really working her, and she is indeed the target again so far today.
There's Collymore, all speed but off the high hands of Stoyanova and Andre.
Smart play by Collymore. She didn't have a ball she could swing at, and why take a big swing when you can just do this, find a high hand, knock it off. That's referred to as the use, or more informally, the slime shot in volleyball, Kevin.
A little sidestep serve from McInnes, her trademark. And here's Stoyanova going wide.
I like the play. The execution's a bit off, and Stoyanova looks a little bit not rusty, I should say, a little bit nervous so far.
Came up with 17 kills in their semifinal match against Arkansas. Off to a slow start today. Neidig sets it for Morris. Denied at the top of the net by Douglas. They'll try it again. This time she goes over the block, but long.
That's all set up by the big block of Stephanie Douglas. One of the moves Mary Wise Wade is inserting Stephanie Douglas in the lineup today. The big block on the right side came up big yesterday with 5 kills on 5 swings and some big presence at the net.
She was huge off the bench when they really needed some points. Neidig sets it again for Morris. Denied again. Douglas and Chapman.
Now Douglas and Chapman got a freebie there, quite frankly, because the pass was only one place it could go. Had to go outside.
Quickly, the Gators on top 11-8, and Tennessee calls timeout to regroup. They don't want this one to get away early. Back to Gainesville in a moment.
My husband has another job during the day, so it leaves me and my son here with the girls to do the dairy chores. Come on, girls. I get a lot of backaches because of all the lifting I do. 60 pounds. I don't know, 70 pounds, 30 pounds. And this is about an ounce. Without BC, I'd never make it through the day. BC powder works fast.
And for fast relief of itchy eyes, sinus headaches, and sneezing, reach for the red. New BC Allergy Sinus Headache Powder.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesty, above the fruited land. God shed His grace on me, and crown Thy good with other, from sea to shining sea, from sea to shining.
IMAX, weeknights on FSN.
On the strength of a 4-0 run, Florida has now leads it by 3, and they are certainly winning the battle of the blocks right now, Phil.
Well, Michelle Chapman already coming up huge. 3 block assists already. She's part of everything so far, and that's the critical thing about this match is you got to play in the back row and you got to play defense at the net.
After a great dig by the Gators, Hampton with a hitting error pushes it into the top of the net. Set for Collymore. Big swing that time. That's Jane Collymore at her best.
Well, Jane Collymore had an in-and-out match yesterday. She came up huge when it mattered at the end, and she is capable of having matches where she is unstoppable. And here, I like this set for her because she's such a high flyer. You got to really put the ball up in the air some for her to swing at. And again, she uses the hands, just taking what the defense gives her.
Andre, quick set. She hammers it, but McGinnis digs it out. Set it for Hampton. Block at the top of the net. Hampton will get another try, this time over the block, and it's successful.
That's a nice play by Florida, looking not ragged there, just scrappy. That's a scrap play right there. You saw Rachel Engel, the converted setter, now the libero for Florida, setting that ball from her knees in the bump set. The result all good for the Gators so far.
The freshman, the main setter this year for the Gators. Collymore, who leads this team in service aces, just puts another one on the board.
What I love about Collymore's serve is one of the things you tell young players to do is after the whistle is blown, tell them to take their time. Collymore takes her time. She's going to tattoo the back line. That's as good as you serve you can put up there.
45 aces for her now in the season. Neidig tries to go over in 2, denied by Hampton. Back row set. Free ball here for the Gators.
Gators must convert these.
Back row set, Collymore off the high hands. Stoyanova gets a hand on it, and Tennessee lives to tell about it. They get it back over. This time they'll set it for Hampton. Big swing from the freshman.
Great decision by McGinnis going outside. Nice hold in the block in the middle by Chapman. Well done. This is a good job of McGinnis. You see the block split there going over the smaller Neidick, and this right now is a bad rotation for Tennessee. They need to get out of it.
Here's Collymore to serve once again. Tough serve, but Tennessee able to handle it this time. Denied by Chapman again. She is on a mission at the top of the net.
Well, this is all being set up by Collymore's serving, but right now Florida is just doing everything right. Tough serving, great blocking. Chapman is absolutely on a mission. So right and so big at the net.
Came into this match second on the team in blocks with 107 total, and she has put on quite a show here in the early part of this game.
Well, she's already got 4 block assists. That's 2 total blocks for her, but she's part of everything going on at the net right now. But Florida, even though they had the longer match yesterday, right now looks like to be the fresher team. And again, part of that is being here. They've been here so many times before. One of the things Mary Wise, though, told me earlier is this has been an interesting situation with so many young players on her floor. She has to do a very, very good job of making sure that she doesn't give her team too much information.
There, look at Wise's team's record against SEC opponents over the years. Incredible. 979 winning percentage. And here in the SEC tournament, 39-2. And hoping to pick up win number 40 here today and her 7th straight SEC tournament championship.
It's just an amazing record. And I asked her yesterday after that epic battle with Georgia, I said, what more do you have left in the coaching bag? Because she pulled nearly everything out yesterday to try and get here. She made every move she probably could make and went deep into the bench. So it was an amazing match yesterday, just incredible.
In game 4 alone against Georgia, 13 lead changes, 25 ties.
It was amazing.
And Wise has done miracles, to say the least, here with the Florida program. Andre. There's Kristen Andre, the first-team All-SEC player with a big-time swing.
Well, Rob Patrick burned his second time out early because he see things weren't getting any better and got a rotation out of it and got him out of that bad rotation. And once again, Florida struggling on the pass, and this is why this is going to be an interesting match.
Jane Collymore gets a freebie there.
Very unusual for a team with the ball dropped free like that. Tennessee needs to regroup and think about it. They'll get mad about this. I can already see Neidick talking to her teammates, basically saying, come on, we worked too hard to get here. We're not going to hand this over to them.
Michelle Chapman now to serve. Neidick sets it. Piantadosi dug out by Chapman. And just out of the reach of Andre.
Andre had the big eye play going, but she got a bit too greedy that time. That was flying too far overhead. That's the ball you go back and you pass. And you don't try and swing at that one.
8-point lead now for the Gators.
And this is what happened to Tennessee in the first match, is players start trying to do too much.
Neidick set for Andre, all speed. Dug out by the Gators. Set for Hampton, out of position. She'll go to the middle of the floor. Dug out by Tennessee. Neidick goes over in 2. Great dig by Collymore. McGinnis, Can they get it over? Hampton does. Florida will reset on defense. Here comes Piantadosi. Big swing. Chapman digs it. McGinnis. Williams.
Yes. Boy, Florida is doing it all right now. And this is the thing, is when Florida gets on one of these tears, their athleticism starts to come out. They've loosened up. Tennessee has tightened up. And as a result, Florida is sitting on a 19-10 lead. And Chapman's still doing it all. Serving, digging, blocking. Really the MVP here in game 1.
Neidick, cross-court set. Piantadosi. Dug out again by the Gators. They'll set it from the back row for Hampton. Here's Neidick again. Piantadosi all speed. McGinnis is there. Collymore down the middle. Nobody getting a big swing yet.
Here it is.
Collymore with a dig to Williams.
Transition there. The nice pass by Collymore on the free ball. And this is what Mary Wise wants to see her team do, is transition these free balls over. You want a big swing? There's Sherry Williams. She'll give you a big swing. Very nicely done. Right up the smaller blocker's hands. That's 6'2" against about 5'9" and about 10 vertical inches.
First team All-SEC this season and was huge yesterday against the Bulldogs, hitting .465 with 22 kills. And there is a big kill from Kristen Andre going cross court.
It's tough now, though. Tennessee's now down 9 with only 10 to go. So if they don't put a run on right here, Florida's already probably looking at game one being ahead.
Gators in the position where they can almost trade 2 for 1 the rest of the way, but I doubt they'll do that.
No.
Neidig, back row set. Morris, dug out by Engel. Here's the set for Hampton. Neidig, back row set this time for Andre. Gators with a chance, back row, Collymore, dink shot. Neidig gets a hand on it. Andre swings and goes wide.
Trying to do too much. Kristen Andre needs to know that they're in the middle of a long rally. Just put the ball over in the corners and come back. Your defense is playing well. Let it win. That's what I call trying to go for the 5-point swing. You can't do it. Each one's only worth 1 point.
Tennessee coming into this match with all the momentum on their side, but the Gators have sort of taken that away here in the early going. Long once again.
Panadosi trying to do too much. Wasn't a set she could go down the line with. The ball needed to go cross court, maybe off the hand, and Rob Patrick knows this one probably has slipped away and looking at game 2 already.
Moskovic serving it. Morris to Neidig, goes over in 2. Here's Collymore. High set for Hampton.
Smart play by Hampton, though.
Here's Piantadosi, dug out by Hampton. Once again, smart play for the Gators to get it over. Free ball for Tennessee. Off the high hands goes Sarah Bloom.
Not a bad play, though. Tennessee that time took advantage of the free ball by the Gators, but the Gators not making the mistakes that Tennessee's been making, not hitting the ball out, just trying to let their defense take over. It's not always going to work, but it's a much better situation for Tennessee when you're up by 10 points than it is for Tennessee.
Tennessee setter Julie Neidig, first in the SEC in assists.
There's a block. And there's Sarah Bloom, who we talked about. She is really the key to the block for Tennessee. Just diagnosed very nicely there. That's almost all Panadosi's, it turns out. Bloom really sits with a big target in the middle.
There's a set for Hampton and a big time kill for the freshman once again.
Hampton playing well in the front row. Now she needs to settle down on the back row and serve and pass effectively.
Swinging a lot better, you can tell already in this match than she did yesterday against the Dogs. Neidig sets it for Panadosi, and once again, she was trapped there.
It's trap set, yeah. You know, Neidig's not really on target with her set hitters right now, so her hitters have been having to hit into blocks almost all game long, and that was very difficult. Panadosi really couldn't do much with it.
May have been the easiest block of Sherry Williams' career there. Big block that time from Williams. That one had an exclamation point on it.
Well, you know, Sherry Williams is a senior, and she's been through an awful lot to get here, and you know she's not going to lose the last match in the SEC she may play in the O'Connell Center. Not if she can help it.
25-13 in favor of Florida. Panadosi this time with a brush-off shot in the front row.
Well, the slide attack for Tennessee can be effective as long as Neidig and her hitters are communicating and working. This has not been that way in game 1. Too many unforced errors for the Lady Vols.
Now serving for Tennessee, Cynthia Buggs, 5'8" sophomore out of Compton, California, and a passing error by Florida.
And that's where Florida sometimes, this is the inexperience in the back row by the relative comparison. When you look at Florida the last several years, you've had a player by the name of, Audie Cruz back there who anchored everything, and it's been a very difficult thing for Florida. And it's taken almost the entire season to get that passing back together again.
Collymore shot goes long, but off the touch. So point to the Gators. Now leading 26-15. Chapman back in for Florida, along with Taylor Williams, Engel, and Sherry Williams out. They bring in Deuce Deuce, as they call her here in Gainesville, just for that jump float serve there. Tough to handle. Tennessee does, and a kill that time from Amy Morris.
Yeah, right now what Tennessee's playing for is game 2, trying to get their offense tracking for game 2. It's going to be very difficult, if not impossible, to come back 26-16 down in a rally score game. And they don't really have the servers to do it. But what they will do, though, is get their offense tracking, and believe me, they can turn this around and put the same kind of number on Florida in game 2.
McInnes to Collymore. That one's worked many times this year.
Well, Collymore looks much more comfortable offensively than she did yesterday in the semifinals, and that's important for the Gators, because if she's not on, they really struggle.
She came up with 28 kills against Georgia, but it took 91 swings to do it and 14 errors in the process, so she was definitely off. Florida right now leading in the kills department, 16-10.
Well, credit a lot of that to the very good Georgia Bulldog defense yesterday. Took everybody off their offense. It was not an offensive show by either team yesterday. Another hitting error by Tennessee, and again, this is what we talk about here. I guess not a hitting error. I thought it was a hitting error. I guess it must have been up the high hands.
I guess there must have been an overrule and said there was a touch because the point does go to Tennessee. They're now trail by 10.
The best referee in the country, as far as I'm concerned, Michael DiNardo up. If he says there's an overrule, I'll take his word for it.
Jasmine Fulov coming up with the service ace off the bench for Tennessee. Fulov in the starting lineup, a late addition today.
And here comes Tennessee starting to get some more rhythm to their attack. Never mind.
Michelle Chapman with a rocket going in the back corner.
Yeah, and Florida really looks like they just came out very comfortable and confident here in game one.
And here comes maybe one of the toughest serves in the SEC to handle. Once again, Jane Collymore back to serve. Oh, that's tough.
Well, you know what I love about Jane Collymore's serve is not just how good it is, but one of the things that she does is once the whistle blows from Michael DiNardo, she takes her time and she waits. She thinks it through and she measures her steps in her toss, and that's why she is such an effective jump server.
Fulov digs it out that time. Morris tapped up. Engel will set it for Hampton. Fulov back to Morris. Off speed. Chance for Collymore to finish it off. Oh, Douglas in the front row doing the honors. In the right place at the right time. And Florida makes a big statement in game one, winning 30-18.
Pretty impressive stuff if you're Gators, but don't be surprised if, like I said, Tennessee turns this right around here in game two.
Rob Patrick has some confidence building maybe to do over his team, who came in riding high, but the Gators come out red hot in game one. Game two coming up next.
IMAX, weeknights on FSN.
Friday, December 3rd, 12 o'clock noon, the Georgia World Congress Center. Two men, two opposing leaders will sit down for one final civilized discussion. Join Ron Franklin as he hosts the two men whose teams will battle it out for this year's SEC football crown. It's the Hyatt Regency SEC Championship Coaches Luncheon. For tickets, call 205-458-3015 or order online at secsports.com. Don't miss the last word.
This is the morning glory round. Dear, I want you to come and see the Jasmine Garden. Isn't it lovely? Adorable.
Excuse me, where's the TV?
Television?
Get the sports information you need anywhere with Fox Sports Mobile. Play-by-play action, up-to-the-minute scores and news. Fox Sports Mobile, your sports lifeline.
Everyone close your eyes now. Be with me. Picture yourself as a child playing dress-up. Imagine yourself as a fireman, the president, a dancer. Remember how that felt to trust yourself completely? Feel that feeling. Let it in. Did you feel that? Now that is the power of fuel.
Maybe a little Halloween leftovers there. I don't know, but it's a nice outfit anyway, especially here in Gainesville where they love their Gators and they love their volleyball. And in game one, Phil, it's been all about the block. We talked about it in the open, and Michelle Chapman has been a star so far. Let's go over to Jen Hildreth.
Yeah, Michelle Chapman, what a performance she had in that first game. You might call it inspired. One reason for her inspiration is her mother. Her mother, Angela, is a sergeant in the U.S. military. She's been in Iraq this year. She's had to miss all of her daughter's games. She has more than 20 years of service with the Army. And Michelle said, my mom's going through volleyball withdrawal. And she said, there's not a day goes by that I don't think about her. Guys, when the anthem played today, she was thinking of her mother, and she said she wears a red, white, and blue wristband on her left wrist in memory of her mother, since she can't be here to see her play.
Great story, Jen, and Michelle Chapman, as we said, has been outstanding so far in game one.
Well, it's all about the block, and it really has been so far, and Florida has been all over it. Michelle Chapman has been a big reason that Florida has really dominated game one. And I think the thing is Tennessee has to really even things out. Very one-sided in the stat category. Florida just way on top of everything. Hitting errors, and that's what Tennessee's got to get rid of, is those bad swings. But one of the most interesting things here, Florida 412 to 025 hitting percentage, 6-2 on blocks, 17-11 on digs. You know, and really what happens now is really up to Tennessee, because a lot of those blocks that Florida got were because Tennessee was just not in a position to run their offense. So watch for Tennessee to try and turn it around quickly here in game two.
And Chapman now serving and full of having that one roll off her fingertips, so it's a free ball for the Gators, but Chapman does have to come to the back row, from the back row to claim it. Collymore dug out. Here's Piantadosi. Chapman with another dig. McGinnis to Williams. Full. Once again, Tennessee taken out of rhythm, so another free ball for Florida, set for Williams. Didn't get a good swing at that one. Piantadosi. Douglas gets a piece of it. Chapman sets it back row for Collymore, long.
That's her first bad swing of the day, and again, that's an unusual thing. Collymore doesn't do that very often. It's the kind of ball she's going for the deep corners, put a bit too much on it. A nice rally there for Tennessee. Not real pretty in terms of what they did, but they hung in there, won a long rally. They're going to have to win more of them to try and turn this thing around.
So they get on the board first here in game two. McGinnis, Douglas. Very much off target with that swing.
No, this is the opposite of way game one started. It started out with Tennessee making unforced hitting errors. Now here's Florida making unforced hitting errors. Make no mistake about it, Tennessee will not be rattled by that. They'll be mad about it, and they want to play better. So that's what they're capable of doing.
Free ball here for Florida. Williams will go to Hampton, off speed. Bloom goes left-handed. Here's Engel, back to Collymore. All speed.
Morris too fast for that.
Andre back row. Oh, my goodness. There's Williams and Hampton, the senior and the freshman working.
One of the things you teach middle blockers to do, whether you're hitting front row or back row, you've got to hit left and you've got to hit right. You can't hit right in the middle, and that's what Kristen Andre did that right time, and Sherry Williams said, thanks. I'm throwing that one back at you.
7 total blocks now for Florida in the match. Neidig sets for Bloom, and nobody's going to get to that one.
That's the most effective offensive play that Tennessee ran in game one is a right side slide, and they've got to keep doing that. Because everyone has trouble with defending that when you've got so many big players over there as Tennessee does.
McGinnis, back row set for Collymore. Oh, self-defense almost digging that one out.
He counts 4 hits. Yeah, that's what I think Mary Morris is trying to go over on 3, actually. What happened was Neidig and Buggs collided, and that was 2 hits right there. Morris was the third, so she was trying to go over. I think she knew, and DiNardo right on top of it. They said he's a very, very good referee.
Neidig. Piantadosi on the slide play, comes through this time.
Much better start for Tennessee here in game 2. They've settled down. And again, with the right side attack, everyone's effective on this to some degree, and Tennessee gives everybody fit. Now we'll see if Tennessee can really start cashing in some of their skills.
Whitney Gifford in to serve for Tennessee. Collymore says we'll take that serve right back.
And one of the things that looks today like Angie McGinnis is giving Jane Collymore a little higher set, which is giving her the chance to do this super high angle octane attack, for lack of a better term. That's with a very good one. And she really, really likes those high sets because she gets up in the air so quickly.
Taylor Williams with the floater. Neidig, off speed from Bloom. Nice idea by Williams, who tries to go over in 2. Morris goes way long with that one, hoping for a touch, doesn't get it.
Yeah, Morris has to be smarter about that when she doesn't have the great swing. Maybe roll the ball down the line. Yeah, it'll be dug by Florida, but she's got a big block up there, anchored by Sarah Bloom. Let it go back and do its job.
Set. Blocked back by Chapman. Again, solo that time.
Chapman really came to play today, Kevin. She's not going to walk away from this without a victory if she can help it. Shane Williams really looks like they're on a mission right now.
Just out of the reach of Buggs, who is now the new libero for Tennessee, replacing Annie Sadowski, who struggled in game 1.
Well, all of Tennessee struggled in game 1. That's more of a rhythm change, I think, for Rob Patrick. He's just put someone different back there. I think Tennessee in general really struggled as a team.
Bugs at the serving line with an error. Point to Florida, who's now up 6-5.
Neither team really, though, so far has established any rhythm here going into game 2.
McInnes hands it right back on the serving error. Well, no doubt about it, it's been one of the best seasons in Tennessee history. 28-2 this year. Their losses coming only to Michigan and to Florida, and currently ranked 12th in the country, the highest ranking in school history. And Neidig, Andre combined for the block on the front row.
Well, it's a tremendous job done by Rob Patrick and his staff. Mike Minnis and Cindy Young just done a tremendous job of getting a great team ready to go for this year and setting the expectation that not only were they going to win, they were going to win big and win often. And that's, sometimes it sounds easy, we have all these great players, but putting it all together is a very difficult thing, and they've done a wonderful job with a very, very good team.
Free ball. Chapman calls for it. Douglas hits it, though, and finishes it off.
Well, one of the lineup changes from last Sunday to this Sunday is the insertion of the big Stephanie Douglas in on the right side. She played extremely well yesterday against Georgia, and she saw no action hardly at all against Tennessee last week. So it's a little bit different wrinkle. Clearly, Mary Wise believes that Stephanie Douglas could be a difference maker today.
Andre down the pipe. Point to Tennessee, up 8-7. Michelle Piantadosi back in the lineup now for Tennessee, replacing Whitney Gifford. McInnes set for Hampton, off speed. Piantadosi back, and right off the hands of Engel.
Smart job by Neidig, going to Piantadosi quickly. And this is more like what I think Rob Patrick expected to see in game 1, and that's why you play best of 5, because they turn around so quickly on you. And here's a great example where Tennessee now up 9-7, so game 1 is a distant memory.
The Gators now having trouble in their passing. Not that time. Douglas with another kill.
Stephanie Douglas, really a difference maker so far. Very big, listed at 6'2", but she plays bigger than that. Nice down the line shot. One of the things she does very well is swing down the line. That makes a difficult ball to dig in most cases.
Third kill of the match now for the sophomore out of Temple, Texas. Chapman serving. Neidig over in 2. Nice idea, but dug out by McInnes. Back to Douglas they go. Piantadosi denies her. They'll go Collymore, back row. Here's Andre, tapped. Williams back the way.
Smart play, and that's just a good play on both sides. Florida making some nice plays. Tennessee keeping the long rally alive. Well done both ways, but you know, Florida winning some of these tough rallies as well, and Sherry Williams going over on 2 and says that's an easy one for me.
Nobody really getting a free swing at the top of the net. Everything being challenged.
As you would expect it, with the top two teams in the top 15 in the country.
Collymore just has to knock it over deep. Here's Andre. Wow.
Kristen Andre really looks solid when she's hitting either in the right side or the middle. Good decision by Neidig, going right side, going down the line. Difficult ball to dig for anybody, and Andre so far looks to be the most solid of the Tennessee attackers.
And a service ace for Andre as Collymore backs out of the way, and it drops right on the line.
Volleyball is such a momentum game, how fast it can turn. Right now, neither team really looking very effective offensively, but Tennessee winning some of the scrap points.
They'll set it for Hampton. Oh, knocked back. Chance again here for Tennessee. Piantadosi off the hands of Williams, but a great up by Hampton. Collymore off speed. They'll go to Piantadosi again. Back and forth we go. Oh, great effort by McInnes and Williams.
Patrick is screaming for a lift. He is extremely upset with Michael DiNardo and the refereeing crew. He wants that lift called, and he probably has a pretty decent case. This ball seemed to stick in the hands here. It's dug out here, and that, you know, it was a nice play, athletic play by Sherry Williams getting it over, but other referees would have called that a lift, and Rob Patrick is going to be working that one for a while from the officials.
Bloom, low set. Chance here for Florida. Collymore Back row and right into the Tennessee bench. Rob Patrick, a little smile on his face.
Well, that one hit him, so he was happy it hit him and not in the court.
Look at where these two teams are in relation to one another in the SEC stats. Pretty dead even across the board.
Yeah, it's what you'd expect of two top 15 teams. Best offenses, pretty good defenses. And
Williams getting a hand on everything right now around the net. McInnes over in two, and it works to perfection off the hands of Neidig.
Off-speed shots there, just one of those things. And again, nothing's really been established here with momentum in game two. Neither team playing particularly well offensively. It's been a scramble game, which is kind of what I expected to see in game one. And Florida came out having ideas, but Tennessee is settling into a rhythm. They can side out, but they can't score points on their own serve. Florida, the same situation.
Harsh angle here from Bloom.
That's going to be tough to stop anybody. That'll go down on anybody in the nation.
Back to a 2-point lead for Tennessee, and off the bench, Gifford sends it long.
And you hate to see that because Rob Patrick brings Whitney Gifford in specifically to serve, and she misses the serve.
One of two seniors on the squad, along with Michelle Piantadosi. So this Tennessee team is pretty much loaded several years to come.
Well, these are the two teams I think you look at right now, along with Georgia, and quite frankly, Alabama's pretty young. They lose the great Aaron Hefner, but they've got a lot of players there as well. The SEC is a deep conference, and such exciting to see those two semifinal matches yesterday go so long, and 4 games for Arkansas and Tennessee, 5 for Georgia and Florida. It was amazing volleyball.
Maybe as opposed to years past, we can say both of these teams definitely earned their way into this match.
There is no question about it. And there is a team delay there because of a incorrect substitution by Tennessee. So Rob Patrick shaking his head. That probably is on him as far as the sub goes.
14-12 in favor of the Volunteers. McInnes sets it for Collymore. Big swing.
Dismissed.
Just off the line.
No touch.
Mary Wise looking for the touch, but instead will call timeout here.
She may have a case.
Tennessee responding after being trounced in game one. They come back and lead the Gators by 3 here in game 2.
Every day at Golden Flake, it all starts with a special premium potato that longs for something more flavor and more crunch. Seeking a life of delicious variety and guaranteed freshness in every chip and every bag. That's what Golden Flake brings to the table. For us, these are the good times. Finding our way to your neighborhood grocery and into your basket headed home. Turning potatoes into the life of your party. Golden Flake, the South's original potato chip.
Meet Bob. Bob went to Arizona. His friend went to Nebraska. And their other friend, Florida State. Now they all live together in LA. So how do they follow their favorite college teams? With Fox College Sports, featuring over 800 NCAA games each year on 3 regionally aligned channels. FCS Pacific, FCS Central, and FCS Atlantic. All the games that matter in one powerful package. You're watching Fox College Sports. For more information on program listings, log on to foxcollegesports.com. Fox College Sports, where college never ends.
Tune into Fox Sports for the best sports coverage around. Then, let the new foxsports.com on MSN take you beyond the field. Log on today for up-to-the-minute headlines, real-time scores on every page, hot sports opinions from your favorite Fox Sports personalities, tons of free video, cool interactive features, play fantasy games, and get everything you need to win with expert analysis from the sporting news. Experience a new world of sports. foxsports.com on MSN. IMAX, weeknights on FSN.
Tennessee down a game, but up in game 2 by 3, 15-12. Kristen Andre, a big reason why the Vols hanging around. She's had an All-American type season.
Yeah, she's had an All-American type season, and she's played very well here in Game 2. I think she took it upon herself to really step up the pace in Game 2. Had a service ace, a couple of blocks, and been very effective on the slide attack on the offensive side. She's one of the leaders of this team in terms of being vocal on the floor. And that's very important for a team that's just lost a game to be able to rely on somebody who's going to help pump them up. Kind of like that.
Right off the high hands of Chapman, another kill for Kristen Andre, who really has just stepped it up in the postseason, hitting a combined in this tournament 548 match.
Yeah, they need them all too, because Tennessee's the kind of team that can really, they can attack many angles, but they got to have people like Andre continually leading them in that situation.
Oh, Douglas goes deep with a shot and puts it in.
Now, that's an example of a shot where you're making an error-free play. She did not have the best set to work from. It was off the net some, and that's about a three-quarter swing, but the worst thing that was going to happen is going to get dug by Tennessee. Florida plays defense. Instead, it goes into the deep corner, and no one digs it.
Serving error by Collymore.
Unusual.
Gives the point right back to Tennessee. Slide play to Chapman, works on the right side.
Well, right now, again, Tennessee had a small mini run earlier where they got a couple of points up, but neither team has really established a whole lot. Nice split that time in the block between Panadosi and Andre by Michelle Chapman.
Chapman with that patented hand wave before every serve that everyone in the crowd mimics. Oh, Panadosi goes with an angle shot.
That's a big angle. That's almost impossible to get to. As big as she is and the way she turns her body, watch the turn in midair. Right there, boom, turn, arm turn. That's an angle you typically just can't get to if you're a defensive player.
Andre, the low serve, Douglas.
I'm telling you.
Stephanie Douglas is coming out playing well today.
She played great yesterday, and when she was subbed in for Keisha Killingsworth, and she is playing extremely well today in the front row. This is a nice attack here, the right side. Beautiful split.
Neidig, back set for Bloom.
And this is more what we expected to see with Tennessee, really not letting Florida execute much of anything. And Tennessee has a three-point lead right now, and a lot of it has to do with just playing error-free volleyball, not making mistakes.
McInnes sets it back row. Collymore off speed. Stoyanova gets a hand on it. Panadosi dug out by Collymore. Free ball at the top of the net. Played up by Florida. Here's Williams. That one off speed and in the right spot.
That's called senior vision. Sherry Williams looked right through the net that time prior to swinging and saw the hole she had to swing into and knew all she had to do was find open floor. She knew, she looked and said, all I got to do is drop it over the top of the block. They're all kills, Kevin. They're all kills.
Stoyanova into the net.
Stoyanova's really struggled here in this match. She's really, looks like she's either got a case of nerves or just having an off day.
Now just a one-point lead for Tennessee with Hampton serving for Florida. Neidig, Panadosi, back across, and a smart play from Neidig, seeing the open floor and going deep corner.
Well, again, it's a vision play. That's an experienced player saying, I know I knocked this ball over in one. The defense is all sucked up. No one's going to be able to get to it, and indeed, right on the line. Good job by Neidig.
First team All-SEC this season as a setter for the Tennessee Vols. Collymore, also first team All-SEC, and shows why.
Well, that was a rocket. And again, it looks to me like Jane Collymore and Angie McInnes have communicated a bit about the sets today, and the sets are coming a little higher. When you've got a big-time jumper, I mean, Jane Collymore touches 10-6, okay? That's 6 inches higher than the rim. So you want a high set when you're out there like that. It seems to be working quite effectively today for Jane Collymore.
Morris right into Moskovic, who was handcuffed by that one.
Down the line, Amy Morris hits down the line very, very well for an outside hitter. Over the top of McInnes that time, smart play. Even though McInnes is a very good blocking setter, she's still a little bit easier target to go to than the middle, dominated by Michelle Chapman.
Free ball for Tennessee. Speaking of Chapman turns that around.
One of the things about Florida's leapers is they don't just get up in the air high, they get up in the air quickly. They're immediately up in the air, and Chapman just gets up higher faster than most players. So does Sherry Williams, for that matter.
Here's McInnes with that sidestep serve. Neidig for Andre, off speed, dug up by Engel. McInnes back to Douglas. Off the hands. They'll set it for Morris. Another
That's a nice shot. Very well done by Morris that time, and that's one of those swings that in the first match we saw up in Knoxville, she may have taken an errant swing and knocked that ball out of bounds. So the worst thing that happens here, it gets dug by Florida, we'll let the big front line, anchored by Andre, make a block. Instead, drops in for a point.
Back to a 2-point lead for Tennessee, and a timeout called by Mary Wise and the Gators.
Well, there's they each had 2 timeouts left, so why not go ahead and take one? Because you've only got 10 more points to go, and that's probably a good move because Florida really has not made any progress on shaking Tennessee out of their offense so far. So I think it's a good idea for Mary Wise to try and maybe talk to her team about doing a couple of different things to try and turn this around from a 2-point deficit and try and regain the lead.
Well, Amy Morris just coming up with a big kill for Tennessee a moment ago, showing some of her offense, but it's been defense she's been known for this year. Let's get more from Jen Hildreth.
Yeah, Kevin, Amy Morris, the SEC Defensive Player of the Year, but you know what? You guys really haven't called her name much in this match, and for good reason. She hasn't been all over the court the way her teammates are used to her. She's kind of referred to in a friendly way as a ball hog because she's so good at covering the whole floor, and Rob Patrick says he likes that. He wants her to be a ball hog because when she does her job and covers all that floor and takes control, her teammates just get to focus on the little things that they need to do to get better. So I think Amy Morris needs to get into this game for Tennessee.
She was certainly a ball hog, Phil, back a week ago against Florida when she came up with 31 digs along with 16 kills. A big reason why Tennessee pulled that upset here on the home floor of the Gators.
Well, every team has got a player who anchors the defense, not only with their actions, but with their mentality. And the ball hog mentality is a great one to have if you're a great back row defensive player. And yeah, I'd let Amy Morris get to any ball she wanted to because it's what really keys her offense is being able to catch a lot of balls on defense.
First team All-SEC and leads this team in digs per game at 3.6. Fulov with the dig. Back to Morris they go. Chance for the Gators here. It's back row set for Hampton. Right into the hands of Fulov. Andre in violation against the Volunteers.
Now that was a big turnaround right there because Tennessee may have gotten that point. And this is the point in the match where it's in a break point. You've got your best server back in the back, Collimore. She comes up with a couple of big ones here. Look for Tennessee to take a quick timeout.
Handled by Gifford. Morris, big tough block by Chapman and Douglas again.
I'm telling you, Stephanie Douglas is really the big hero here so far in this match. And she is putting a huge block up there. It'll be a half block to her, half to Chapman. That was mostly all Stephanie Douglas.
Blocks in favor of the Gators now 10-3 in this match. We thought it'd be a telltale sign. And so far it has been.
Well, again, as I thought, a quick timeout by Rob Patrick because the momentum immediately swapped over, as it so often does coming out of a timeout. And with Jane Collimore back there serving, one of the most important things right now is for Tennessee to get a solid pass and run good offense and review their options and probably try and go back to the slide attacker in the middle.
Well, of course, the Tennessee Volunteers finally climbing over that mountain, beating the Gators a week ago, which we've talked about so much. But as we said in the open field, beating the Gators in the regular season and beating them in the postseason is a totally different story.
I told him before the 5th game, when we got it to the 5th game, I didn't have a lot of time to talk to him because I was trying to figure out our lineup. I said, this is what you prepared for since January. You wanted to win the SEC. And here it is. What better opportunity, what a better place, 5th game at Florida to have that opportunity. So, you know, it's something that we've done already, I believe, and something that, you know, we've already kind of broken down that door. We have another opportunity, and I don't think it's going to be as big a deal in terms of mentally thinking about it. I think it'll be a big deal because we haven't been in an SEC tournament championship since, I believe, 1988.
That's exactly right, and it's been since 1984 since the Vols have actually won in the tournament finals. Trying to break that streak today, just like they broke Florida's winning streak a week ago.
Solid timeout there, and right back to Amy Morris again outside. I thought Rob might try and go to the right side, but turns out Morris was able to knock it off of Collimore, and Collimore made an excellent attempt at it, but again, Tennessee back and with the lead.
McInnes to Douglas, and the sophomore responds once again.
See that
number 6.
And she is playing huge, hitting 400 so far and providing a very, she's getting well on the offensive end, but her biggest contribution is on the blocking side so far.
Well, you saw Colin Moore pumping up the troops. That has been a different role for her this year, being more vocal since the departure of Audi Cruz a year ago. Piantadosi goes angle shot once again, and it works again.
That's one that Sherry Williams might have wished she had back. She kind of stabbed at it. It was an off-speed shot by Piantadosi, who's got that angle shot down well, and Marcy Hampton was getting ready to cut in and take it. And unfortunately, Sherry kind of cut it off in mid-stride. So now we're at a point where every point is pretty much, we're almost at a deuce situation in tennis where the first team puts 2 in a row, really is going to have a significant advantage.
Dug up by Andre. Piantadosi goes over. McGinnis, quick set for Williams. Might have been long. Andre digs it out anyway, and then Florida will let it fall out of bounds.
It was close. I think Andre made a good play because she wasn't sure. It was too tight. Too tight to let go when you're 24-23 or now 24-24. You got to play those.
Moskovic now to serve for Florida. Neidig back set for Bloom into the net.
Never came. Hitting error. One more point, maybe another quick timeout.
Rob Patrick all the way out to courtside.
That was communication with his setter, calling the play for the next time.
Neidig, quick set for Bloom. Williams there to deny it. Piantadosi.
Great shot.
Oh, my goodness.
Great shot by Piantadosi. That's just a smart shot. Again, the set not too tight, but down the line is a good spot to be in the corner. Very well done by Michelle Piantadosi.
Almost thinking free ball for Florida in that situation, but Piantadosi hits a laser right down the line. Williams dug up by Morris. Neidig sets it for Piantadosi. Right past Williams and out of the reach of Engel and Hampton.
And that's big. That's the first time the teams put 2 points together, and now the Volunteers could be on the verge of closing this game out if they can put one more together here.
Over and 2 goes McGinnis. Big point from the freshman. As game 2 so vital here, Florida hoping for a 2-0 advantage going into the halftime.
And you don't want to give up a 2-point deficit when you're this close in game 2.
Stoyanova.
Nailed it.
Colin Moore ducks out of the way at the last minute, and it was just in.
Stoyanova's not had a good match, but she found the line there. Well called, well done.
Whitney Gifford now serving for Tennessee. Deep serve. McGinnis back to Colin Moore. Buggs digs it out. Neidig back to Morris. Big swing off the hands of Williams.
Huge play for Tennessee, and now they've got that 2-point lead. 28-26.
Florida calls timeout. There once again a look at the great up by Buggs, and then here comes Morris.
Well, Morris is a different player here in game 2, and she's been very effective not only with her defense, but with her offense.
Tennessee Vols winning their first regular season title in the SEC in school history, but co-champions along with Florida. They'd love to say undisputed champions by winning here today.
Well, I think what's really key is, as I said, this is a momentum match. Florida clearly came out and stole momentum in game 1, but Tennessee and Florida kind of went toe-to-toe there through most of game 2, and right now Tennessee in a position to make this a 1-1 split going in the locker room, which is ideal. When you're on the road playing in the other person's building, you don't want to go down 0-2 under any circumstances. Although I asked Florida about that, they did it yesterday and managed to find a way to win, but I wouldn't want to be Tennessee going down 0-2 in this building, in this situation.
Julie Neidig, junior setter out of LaGrange Park, Illinois, helping Tennessee to a 28-2 record coming into this match. We've talked a lot about the streaks that ended a week ago, but here are the streaks still alive, and what's pretty impressive what they've still got going for them.
Yeah, it really is, and I think what'll be interesting is kind of this match has national implications in terms of where these two teams end up seated in the NCAA tournament.
Williams
missed.
Tried to put it on the line, but just missed target.
Nice idea, and it would have worked. It would have worked.
Oh,
boy, if it was out by just a little bit.
Now point for Tennessee. Williams says not yet.
Now Tennessee has 2 more swings, though, for game 2.
Trey Williams with 7 kills in the match. Over to the bench, leaving it up to her teammates to try to come back down 2 here. Morris.
There it is.
Game to Tennessee. So the Volunteers respond in game 2 with a hard-fought win. And we go to the locker room knotted up at a game apiece. Tennessee Vols showing they're not afraid to come into the O-Dome and try to make it back-to-back wins over the Gators. But right now, the Gators are still the defending SEC tournament champs.
The Dr. Pepper SEC Fanfare is the only place to be prior to the 2004 SEC Championship kickoff. It's where the touchdowns begin. It's where the showdown begins. It's where the high fives, the low fives, and the celebration begins. There's nowhere else to be. Dozens of cool SEC interactives and rabid crowd-rousing activities. A big-time event right next to the Big Tent. Kicking off the 2004 SEC Football Championship, the Dr. Pepper SEC Fanfare. Be there.
Now, there's a place where college never ends. Fox College Sports. The new network that brings you nearly 150 games from conferences like the Pac-10, Big 12, and more. Plus local coaches shows and news from around the country. This is the network college football fans always dreamed of. You're watching Fox College Sports. For more information on program listings, log on to foxcollegesports.com.
IMAX, weeknights on FSN.
Have you noticed that networks that feature dinosaurs, kitchen makeovers, their shows about dead guys, have been adding cool car shows to their lineup? Some even claim to be the first men's network. Yeah, right. Speed Channel is dedicated to adrenaline junkies and gearheads 24/7.
Trouble! Rewind for the win!
Racing to restoration, classics to concepts. Speed Channel. Fuel your passion 24/7.
Fox Movie Channel is the first and only network that brings you your favorite movies, direct from the source, 20th Century Fox.
Showtime!
Our vast library contains some of the greatest films of all time.
No, you read me.
All uncut and commercial-free.
I'll be back.
As well as today's top stars.
Wait a minute.
Plus, original programming only we can deliver.
You're watching Fox Movie Channel.
It's all here on Fox Movie Channel.
All right, Coach, game 1, you guys came out, looked really strong, never quite got into rhythm there in game 2. What are you looking to tell your team now?
Well, I think game 2, credit Tennessee. I mean, they passed so well. They made the change in the libero. They kept them in system. Tennessee in system is as good as any offensive team in the country.
How do you beat that?
You got to serve a little bit tougher.
All right, thanks, Coach. Good luck the second half.
All right, thanks to Mary Wise. As the Gators, as she said, saw Tennessee respond in game 2, and that change in the libero from Cynthia Buggs coming in to replace Annie Sadowski really did pay dividends for Tennessee, passing in the second game. Now let's meet this year's all-conference performers here in the SEC. Jane Collymore, the SEC Offensive Player of the Year, second in the conference in kills per game, just behind Alabama's Erin Hefner. The Defensive Player of the Year going to Amy Morris of Tennessee. She's certainly very deserving. Freshman of the Year, Angie McGinnis for Florida, who came in this year and claimed the main setter position, and that's saying something coming into a program like Florida as a freshman to come in and play as well as she did. The Scholar Athlete of the Award going to Arkansas's middle blocker, Jennifer Hauser, who was named also second team All-SEC this year. And the Coach of the Year, no surprise, Rob Patrick out of Tennessee, leading the Vols to a stellar season, 28-2, 15-1 in conference play. And taking a look at the all-conference performers, first on the first team, and that should be Erin Hefner out of Alabama. Give credit to her. She was a one-woman show for the Crimson Tide this year.
Yeah, she really was most of the offense, but dominated here by Florida and Tennessee. But You cannot mention this team and not mention the incredible play of Alexandra Oquendo yesterday. And the second team, you know, more of the same. Stoyanova, Panadosi from Tennessee, McGinnis from Florida, but some great players on there. Julie Farley from Alabama, Petrushka from Georgia, Margot Wallace from Georgia, and Shonda Cole. We had a great look at her a couple weeks ago from South Carolina, a great force at the net.
The only sophomore making the first or second team this year in the SEC. And of course, the first team loaded with volunteers, three on the first team, 2 on the second team. And let's take a look at the RPI rankings right now as we headed toward the NCAA tournament. And there you see Florida on top, Tennessee right behind.
Well, what it really says to me is that Florida and Tennessee are going to host the first round, and Alabama and Georgia both deserve to be in the NCAA tournament. Now, I fear that might not happen, knowing the bias the committee has against the SEC, but they should be very wise to look, because I would not want to play Alabama or Georgia in that tournament.
Well, this game right here will decide a lot about where these teams go in the NCAA tournament. Right now, Tennessee and Florida knotted at a game apiece in the SEC tournament final.
IMAX, weeknights on FSN.
This is the morning glory room. Dear, I want you to come and see the Jasmine Garden. Isn't it lovely? Adorable.
Excuse me, where's the TV?
Television?
Get the sports information you need anywhere with Fox Sports Mobile. Play-by-play action, up-to-the-minute scores and news. Fox Sports Mobile, your sports lifeline.
Oh, yeah, the Gators hoping they are going to have SEC tournament title 7 in a row, but right now Tennessee battling the Gators toe-to-toe, and we're tied a game apiece here at halftime alongside Phil Bush, Kevin Hensley. Glad you could join us here from Gainesville. And Phil, it was really a tale of 2 different games. Tennessee came out a little out of sync defensively, but a couple of substitutions, and Rob Patrick turns that around right away.
Well, there's no surprise where Rob Patrick's gotten his team here. Very experienced coach, and he made a change in the libero, but in general, Tennessee just settled down. Got into their offensive system, was able to shake Florida out of their system just enough to win that second game. So we're right back where now we're at the best of 3. No big surprise. These are the 2 best teams in the conference. That's what you're going to get when you're looking for the tournament championship.
Florida still winning the battle of the blocks, and the block was the story in game 1 as we take a look at some of the highlights.
Well, what you have here is you have basically Tennessee just pretty much out of system the entire time, and Florida really taking advantage of it by just hammering away at the front of the block. And what's interesting is that as soon as Tennessee got into system, they had some success. And that carried over very well into game 2. And in game 2, a whole different story. You got Sarah Bloom just hammering in the middle. And really, Tennessee continued to go to the right side, a very effective weapon. But Julie Knight just settled down, began connecting with her hitters. And eventually, just enough to get Tennessee over the top. And that's what you expected to see in this entire match, is teams going right back and forth at each other.
Tennessee really going to the middle much more effectively in game 2. And now we are headed to game 3. We'll see who can swing momentum in their favor coming up here in Gainesville.
More student athletes.
The most.
More student athletes. Selected academic All-American.
More student athletes.
The most. More student athletes
Are winning.
are winning in the classroom.
Winning where it counts the most.
Meet Bob. Bob went to Arizona. His friend went to Nebraska. And their other friend, Florida State. Now they all live together in LA. So how do they follow their favorite college teams? With Fox College Sports, featuring over 800 NCAA games each year on 3 regionally aligned channels. FCS Pacific, FCS Central, and FCS Atlantic. All the games that matter in one powerful package. You're watching Fox College Sports. For more information on program listings, log on to foxcollegesports.com. Fox College Sports, where college never ends.
IMAX, weeknights on FSN.
Welcome back to the O'Connell Center in Gainesville, Florida. Tennessee and Florida tied up 1 apiece. Coach, your team able to get that win in Game 2. Did that give you some momentum heading into the break?
Yeah, we needed to get the Game 2 win. Being down 2-0 to Florida would be a real tough challenge to come back from. We just started playing a little bit better. We went away from our game plan in the first game a little bit, and we came back in the second game and regrouped, and I thought the kids did a great job of getting back to how we wanted to play the game.
What did you tell them during the break that they need to do for Game 3 to finish this out?
The biggest thing is we just have to play our games. In the first game, we were trying to do too much. You know, everybody was trying to play outside of what they normally do, you know, and we don't need that to happen to be successful. So we just wanted to make a couple defensive adjustments and then just play our game and not get outside of what we can do.
All right, thank you, Coach. Best of luck. Kevin, Coach Rob Patrick's got 1 win, looking for that second win coming up in Game 3.
We'll see if they can keep momentum going on their side, because certainly Tennessee came out and played a much better game in Game 2 as we take a look at the stats through the first couple of games.
Well, really the key thing about this is the blocking stat. Really, it's 4-2. The total blocks there is a little bit off, but Florida really dominating even with the loss there in Game 2. But their offensive production really came down a little bit from that Game 1. But Tennessee did just enough in Game 2 to make this 1-1, and that's all that matters when you get right down to it. We're tied 1-1. It's now best of 3.
We are inside the O'Connell Center on the campus of the University of Florida for the SEC Tournament Championship here on your regional sports network, along with Phil Bush. I'm Kevin Hensley. Glad you could join us as the co-regular season champions meeting here for the tournament championship in Florida and Tennessee. And we are underway in Game 3. And Tennessee looking to get off early, and they do. Pianadosi with the kill right out of the reach of Collymore.
Well, it was a good rally by Tennessee that time. They made some plays putting the ball over the net and not knocking the ball out of bounds when they could have. And Florida never really had a chance at a very effective swing because they're not passing well enough to run offense right now. When you don't pass well against Tennessee, what happens is you're going to get roofed an awful lot by this big block.
Neidick and Andre combining to deny Marcy Hampton.
Yeah, just an outside set, and Hampton's going to go up against Andre, and really no room for her to play.
5 kills for Hampton in the first game of the match, but she was quiet in Game 2, didn't have a single kill to her credit. And how Tennessee got that over, I'll never know. Right. Will Florida get this over? They do. Oh, my. Pianadosi blocked by Douglas. They'll get another chance. They go back to her. Off the high hands of Douglas and Williams. Engel, back row set for Collymore. Dink shot. Free ball here for the Gators. Douglas.
There's That's the play. Right side attack for Florida right now is their most effective weapon, and I'm getting tired watching these rallies because they're really long, and these are the kind of rallies that the team that comes out on top here is going to actually end up winning. And good job by McGinnis that time, bringing up very strange balls coming out of the net that time.
That rally bringing Mary Wise up off the bench to pump up her team, but that one right there will bring her up off the bench for different reasons.
Well, unusual situation there for Stephanie Douglas to be serving.
Serve of Andre handled, back to Hampton. Off speed in the middle of the floor.
That's going to drive everyone on Tennessee's team crazy because they have about 4 players who could have made a play that time. That was what I call campfire defense. Everyone gathered around the ball watching hit, and that does not happen very often with a great defensive team like Tennessee.
3-2 in favor of the Big Orange. Here's Bloom, make it 4-2.
When Tennessee, you heard Mary Wise talk about it, when they're in system and Florida does not serve more aggressively than they're serving right now, they're going to be in system an awful lot. The ball's going to go down in a hurry on the Florida side.
McGinnis, back row set for Hampton. Neidick with the up. Here's Morris off speed. Chance for the Gators. Collymore, big swing off the high hands, and no one's going to be able to get to it for hit number 3.
Smart job by Collymore that time. Again, not a set that she could have really hammered at, but she found a hand to knock it off of, and sort of the chain reaction defense on the side of the Volunteers, and that was good enough to put the ball down. Just a half swing off the hand of Stoyanova. Good defensive try by Tennessee, but that's what you want to do, and you haven't got the best swing in the world. Just try and make a play.
Neidig, tight set again for Bloom, and she delivers for the second time in a row.
Ball's I think Florida's going to have to serve deeper and a little more aggressively in order to really take Tennessee out of their offense, because they look very confident right now as an offensive team.
5-2, 5-3 lead rather for Tennessee as Gifford. Deep serve. Handled by Hampton. Here's Collymore. Great dig by Tennessee.
Net
violation against Morris.
No, that's on Florida. That's a point to Tennessee.
My mistake. 6-3 now in favor of Tennessee. Set for Collymore. Oh, wow. She finds a wall in Stoyanova and Bloom.
Florida has to pass a little better, and here's Florida making a passing rotation change in order to put Collymore in a bit better position to get a swing. She's the most effective attacker that they've got, and there's something else that she does is pass very effectively.
Going to the middle attack that time, and Chapman comes through.
Those well-passed balls, as long as the ball's passed well, that's what I call 31 set. Basically just some separation from the setter to the hitter. Nice put down by Chapman.
Angie McGinnis serving for Florida. And mishandled by Gifford.
It looks deceptively slow, Kevin, but the ball's doing a lot of side-to-side motion in the air the way Angie McGinnis strikes it, so it's difficult to pass. But Florida really has to get a run going here to show that they've got some momentum going back in terms of their offense, because right now they're not passing that effectively to run their offense, and Tennessee's passing just about everything.
Stoyanova off the hands of Chapman and Collymore with the kill.
Stoyanova now, after a very slow start, is starting to come alive with the offensive side. And that left-hander can really be effective for Tennessee if she gets going.
McGinnis, one-handed set for Chapman. They'll get it over. It's a free ball for Tennessee. Morris off the hands. Dug up nicely, but McGinnis can't handle it at the net.
A little bit of a collision between McGinnis and Chapman at the net there. Again, this is typical. Right now, Florida has just got to pass the ball better in order to get better offense, and Tennessee's doing a great job of running their own offense.
Set for Collymore, yes.
She is such a key to the Florida attack on the offensive side and the passing side and the serving side. When she's hit this time from the right side, nobody's even there. She gets a free swing, and you do not give an All-American a free swing.
Now serving. She uses every bit of this big runway here in Gainesville, but that time goes long.
And again, this is the example. Now Florida has to make sure that they stay in system both offensively and defensively to try and take Tennessee out of theirs.
Stoyanova with her own jump floater. Chapman.
Nice.
Sort of had to hang in the air to get a tip on that one.
Well, there's a lot of players in here who can hang in the air, but Chapman does as good as any of them. It's a smart shot again. Didn't try and take too much. And the middle like that is very difficult to defend. But again, I stress that right now Tennessee has the advantage because they're staying in their offensive system much better.
Here comes that hand wave that she loves to do. Everyone in the crowd mimics this. There you go. Neidig to Andre. Big swing, too much.
Andre calling for the touch that time, but didn't get it, and that's the first time I've seen a Tennessee hitting error in this game. Nice offensive sequence, though. Andre had what she wanted, just tried to do a bit too much with it.
Sherry Williams was there, but didn't look like she got a finger on it, as the 4-point lead is now a 2-point lead. Great up by Chapman in the back row.
This will be a free ball back to Tennessee, but that's better than a ball that goes down.
Collymore puts it deep. Off-speed shot dug up by McGinnis. Here's Douglas. Oh, there's Kristen Andre.
Well, it's the first time I've seen Douglas get stuffed that way, but it was a difficult play for Florida because McGinnis made the dig and nobody else really could set the ball. Nice set by Chapman, but just a little too much. Douglas may have thought about going over the top that time or with a bit of a roll shot.
Stoyanova. Dig by McInnes. Here's a set for Hampton. Tennessee gets a piece of it. They go back to Piantadosi. Back row set for Collymore. Half swing at it. Here's Piantadosi. Taps it over. Here's Collymore. This time a big swing, but into the net.
Never came. Advantage Tennessee, because when they're getting their half swings, they're putting them in the court somewhere every single time. And that's why they've got a 4-point lead here in game 3. Critical game 3 when you're at 1-1 in a match like this. Game 3 typically decides the winner.
Collymore again off speed, and that's a beauty.
It's almost unfair to be able to do that. Nice job here. Collymore is going to find a little bit of open space. And shot strike defense is crazy because you can't defend everything.
Nidek set for Andre. Quick set. Dug up by Collymore. Great up. But it's a chance for Tennessee. Piantadosi. Oh, there's Sherry Williams.
Williams and McInnes there, and that's the first big block of the match, but all set up by Collymore with a layout dig, keeping the play alive. There you go, laid out by Collymore. Beautiful dig, and then the block finished up by Williams at the top.
Set for Piantadosi. Dug up. McInnes sets it for Hampton. Oh, yeah, she was a big swing that time, but a great dig by Morris. Back and forth we go. Williams taps it over. Nidek to Andre. Another nice dig by Engel. Nidek back to Piantadosi. Who's going to win this big point? Florida is.
These long rallies are very interesting. Florida actually has 3 setters on the floor, 2 of them playing in defensive spots, in Moskovic and Engel, and that gives them some advantage in these strange rallies because they have 3 different players besides McInnes who can actually set the ball in difficult situations, and they're using all of them right now. And there you see Engel again with a nice defensive play.
Battle at the top of the net. Once again, Andre goes over. Nice. Another great up by Collymore. Nidek on the line. Collymore couldn't get to that one.
Good defensive work that time by both teams, and Rob Patrick he's jumping up and down about lifts on Tennessee. Great dig there by Engel. Nice rally by both teams, and Rob Patrick he's literally jumping like one of his players right now. Working Michael DiNardo and Donna Carter pretty good. That's a frustration swing by Collymore. She can't do that. She has to take that one down a notch, and McInnes has to set that ball higher.
What was a 1-point lead, back to 3 now.
Neither team can afford to get frustrated. They both got to show great patience here.
Set for Hampton. Off touch. Wow. Point to the Gators.
Marcy got a fingertip that time. I didn't think she had. Smart play by her. Another one of the high-flying Gators who can find fingertips.
Andre out now, getting some instruction from Rob Patrick. Set for Bloom in the middle. Didn't get a big swing at it. Here's a chance for the Gators. Williams got it off hands. Piantadosi.
Oh, boy.
Tennessee holding on here in game 3, leading by 3 and trying to take a game advantage on the Gators.
B2K. Hear that Motown sound, like Smokey Robinson found. Like Dr. Pepper, it's originality known world round. The taste of Dr. Pepper, the taste of originality. Salutes individuality and gives life a personality. Be you, do what you do. Be you, it's better, Dr. Pepper.
Tune into Fox Sports for the best sports coverage around. Then, let the new FoxSports.com on MSN take you beyond the field. Log on today for up-to-the-minute headlines, real-time scores on every page, hot sports opinions from your favorite Fox Sports personalities, tons of free video, cool interactive features, play fantasy games, and get everything you need to win with expert analysis from the sporting news. Experience a new world of sports. FoxSports.com on MSN. IMAX, weeknights on FSN.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in our coverage on Fox College Sports.
Maybe that they'll forgive conference losses, but you got to earn your way there by winning out of conference. We did that this year. The entire league did that this year.
There are Mary Wise's thoughts on the strength of the SEC this year instead, and certainly they have made a big statement nationwide, winning against some very big-name opponents.
Yeah, and although Florida leads the way on that, 13 SEC championships, tournament titles, all the way to the national championship game last year. The conference this year, before the conference play started, ran a record of 757, 84-27 in the preseason, and that's a pretty impressive feat. And that's why 4 of these teams need to go to the NCAA tournament, because they are truly some of the best teams in the nation right now.
Out of the timeout, McInnes does give the high set to Chapman, and she delivers. 3-point game now as it's Collymore back to serve.
Took a little bit off that one.
Andre doesn't take anything off that.
Wow. See, Collymore basically is thinking, well, take something off it, yeah, it goes in, but Tennessee fires it right back at it. If I go for it, maybe I miss it, but maybe I also get an ace. It's a tough combination, but Tennessee now edging into the zone. They're up 4 at 20-16. Florida with another not-so-great pass.
So a chance here for Tennessee. Here's Morris, off speed. Hampton is there. McInnes, Chapman.
A little bit too obvious that time. Andre was waiting for Chapman to go up with it. I'd like to see that ball go right side if at all possible. Difficult spot. I wouldn't be surprised to see Mary Wise take that second timeout if she loses a point here.
Douglas blocked back. This time they'll go left side to Hampton, and it's blocked out of bounds. So the kill for Marcy Hampton.
Nice angle here, but again, going back to this is the only time I can really say that I've seen Florida in the last 2 games not be able to really run points in succession. And they've not been able to do that since game 1.
Trailing by 4. There's Chapman's hand wave.
There
Morris
it is.
waves at that one and has it sent back to her.
Tough situation. The ball was passed over to that far right side. And really, Julie Neidig had no place else to set it except to Amy Morris, but she really wanted it set someplace, really probably would have liked to have set it somewhere else.
Quick timeout called as we take care of some housekeeping duties, getting a little perspiration off the floor. Where Bugs dove for that one.
Dove and slid, I might add.
That shows you're working hard if you slide.
Yeah, you're sliding pretty hard in this hard floor, too. People don't realize how hard volleyball players are working and the aches and pains that they've got in diving into a hard wood floor 40 to 50 times a match. And all these players have really got that work ethic about them. That's why they're 2 of the best teams in the country.
107-1 against SEC opponents, and we all know where that 1 came from.
Yes.
Courtesy of the Vols, who were trying to make it 2 wins here at the O-Dome, and Morris. Wow, there was a vapor trail behind that one.
Well, Chapman made a nice dig, but unfortunately came over and gave Morris the free swing. So she dug that one up, and unfortunately Morris said, I got this one.
6-point lead, the biggest of the match, the biggest of the game right now, but Florida cuts it back to 5 off the
nice set
swing
there.
of Marcy Hampton.
Nice set by McInnes going high to Hampton, using Sherry Williams as a fake in the middle. But again, the Gators trail 3 here with 8 points to go. They've got to put a run on to tighten this game up.
Lauren Moskovic serving for Florida. Neidig, Piantadosi, blocked up. Williams wants it back. She gets it. Great up by Fulov. Bugs with a nice effort, and Tennessee gets it over, but free ball for the Gators. They'll go to Hampton this time. Oh, my goodness. That had something on it.
Good offensive sequence by Florida. Again, one of the things Mary Wise stressed to her team is we've got to not only dig these balls in transition, we have to convert them. And there's one of the first times in this game 3 that Florida's been able to do that. And Rob Patrick calls a Wise timeout before Florida gets any closer.
6-point lead now cut to 2 as Tennessee leads 22-20 in game 3. Critical game 3.
I think it's very important. It's very, very important that Florida continue to run these points here and not lose this situation. They've got a chance to go up with 2-1 on their home floor, and that would be a pretty difficult thing for Tennessee to come back on.
Well, of course, one of the seniors on this year's squad, Sherry Williams, has been a true fighter for the Gators this season, trying to lead them to an SEC tournament title, but she has fought for more than just her volleyball career this season. Here's Jen Hildreth.
Well, Kevin, Sherry Williams, as you said, she is a fighter on the court. That's what all of her teammates think of her as. But this summer, she came down with a rare form of pneumonia. Actually put her in the hospital. I talked to her. She said it was a very scary situation. She couldn't catch her breath. She had trouble breathing and getting her heart rate down. It turned out it was just a rare form of pneumonia. She finally was able to get healthy, but she was in the hospital for 6 days, some of her darkest days. Coach Mary Wise came over to her and he said, Sherry, you're a fighter. You're going to make it through this. Sherry's response, she just held up her thumb. She couldn't talk, but she held up her thumb in a thumbs up signal, and she said, you know what, it really made me appreciate everything you have.
No doubt an inspirational story, as Williams was actually on a breathing machine. She was so deathly sick and has been able to come back. Not only it's a miracle that she's able to come back, but come back and play at this high level.
Absolutely, and Florida really needs her to come up big at the net right now. But again, a good timeout by Tennessee, and they lead again by 3. Sherry Williams got the first piece of that block, but unable to get the second one, and Florida would love to see a few stuff blocks right now from the big senior.
Williams, during that hospital stay, also found out that she had an allergic reaction to some of the medication they were giving her, and has since not been able to take anti-inflammatory medication, which is almost across the board a must for volleyball players because of all the leaping that they have to do.
Yeah, leaping and shoulder strains and injuries and just wear and tear, and almost everyone's on something, and that's pretty hard. That gives you an idea of the pain tolerance that she's got.
She now wears a medical bracelet to identify herself as someone who is allergic. And there's Collymore.
That's a big play. Now we're down to a 1-point game, and Jane Collymore just blasted through a triple block. So the sets are going a little bit higher. The high flyers for Florida having a bit better easy time connecting now.
Once again, the Florida within 1.
Free ball.
Here a chance to maybe tie it up. Collymore off speed, but there was Piantadosi. Back row attack, Hampton.
No, missed. Long.
Tennessee just will not let Florida get there.
Big chance for Florida there, and they had everything they wanted. A free ball, they had it in transition and everything, and they were unable to convert. And credit Tennessee with continuing to make good plays. And here's a chance for Tennessee to get a big point, and they just did. Up 3, 25-22 now. And they're getting very close to being in that zone we talk about, Kevin.
Not a good ball to swing at, but Engel just couldn't get out of the way. And a timeout called by the Gators. As momentum once again swings back in favor of Tennessee.
Well, you just have the feeling that right now Tennessee just looks the more comfortable team on the floor. They just appear to be more comfortable. They appear to be better in terms of what they're executing on. And again, Florida's had very rare moments where they've been able to really shake Tennessee out of their offense, whereas Florida's passing has just not been all that grand where they could really run a lot of sophisticated offense. So I'll be interested to see coming out of this timeout what Mary Wise decides to do.
Well, join Dave Neal Thursday nights at 6:30 Eastern Time for SEC TV. The fast-paced 30-minute program has all the highlights, features, and analysis of what's going on in the best athletic conference in the nation. That's SEC TV, Thursdays at 6:30. Check your local listings. And just a reminder, following our game coming up at 5:30 Eastern Time, it's college basketball and an Pac-10 ACC showdown as number 10 Arizona takes on the Cavaliers of Virginia. Check your local listings for time in your area.
think right now it'll be interesting to see what Florida comes out with. I'd love to see if they run offense, they're probably going to try and get the ball to Sherry Williams. They get a decent pass out of it, but a lot of it comes down to the passing right now.
McInnes over and 2. No need to pass when you can do that.
No, it's a good play, and there's certain rotations where a team is more vulnerable than others to that. And Rob Patrick looking at his team like, guys, we talked about this, and that's the thing that drives coaches crazy is when you talk about something, I'm sure, and the team is still able to go do it against you. But right now, this is a critical juncture because as you close in on 30 points, you just don't want to give a team a 2-point advantage.
Stoyanova. Big swing, knocked back over. Another chance here for Tennessee. This time the tap shot. Chapman. There once again showing the hang time.
She hung way up in the air that time. On the way down, Michelle Chapman just did all she could do to keep that ball alive, and Tennessee taking a very well-advised quick timeout. Now we're back to the 1-point game again, and you just feel it getting tighter in here as you get closer to 30. Chapman just on the way down. That's just for your athletic ability. It's almost impossible to defend. You don't plan on the ball going down in that situation.
The fadeaway, if you will,
exactly.
and she found it.
Well, it's impressive stuff as far as I'm concerned because, you know, one of the things about Florida yesterday, what that match taught Florida is no matter what, we're going to find a way to come back and be competitive. You know, sit here and they think they're down, you know, I'm sitting here and talking about how critical it is they're down 3 points or 5 points. They're down 10-4 in a 5th game. Going to 15, they find a way to win. So don't put it past the Gators to find a way to win.
That win crushed the Georgia Bulldogs and really catapulted the Florida Gators confidence-wise, according to their defensive specialist, Lauren Moscovich.
Mary always says that we needed to lose in the SEC before we could win a national championship, meaning that the SEC has to get that good to challenge us before we can go far. So that kind of gave us a good feeling inside.
Of course, Moscovich talking about responding after losing to Tennessee in the final regular season match here at home, and they've had some tough battles here at the O'Connell Center in the past week, maybe more than they're used to, and they've got another one on their hands here today.
Yeah, and you see right now Tennessee run their offense more effectively and Florida not as effectively, but here's a chance to make it all not matter.
Collymore with a vicious swing that time.
Past the big block, the biggest block that Tennessee can put up, I might add.
All started by a great dig by Moscovich, though.
And that goes up that time, a rotation of the play to get Tennessee's 2 biggest blockers up front.
Once again, Tennessee responds, though, after Florida battles to tie it. Stoyanova with the kill.
But at a 1-point margin, that's what's matter because you got to win by 2. So now it'll be important for Florida to run side-out offense and just keep siding out and not make mistakes.
Hampton, not a good pass. Engel will just have to set it over. Free ball for Tennessee. Here's Morris, off speed. Collymore, same the other way. Back and forth we go. Here's a chance for the Gators. Chapman, Stoyanova there again. Morris.
There it is.
Engel maybe should have let that one go.
I don't know. It's a hard angle to play there. She made a play because of where she was in the court, thinking the ball was going to go in deep corner, and I'm not going to second guess her because it's her job as leader to touch them all. But now Tennessee with a 2-point lead.
Set for Collymore.
No.
Collymore is struggling right now.
Well, no more timeouts. That's it. All that Mary Wise can do to change momentum is make a substitution or slow this game down. There's nothing else that either coach can do. They've used all 4 timeouts here in the critical game 3.
Slide play to Chapman.
Oh my, oh my.
How did the Vols get that back over?
Well, that's what it's all about right there. That's the ball you're not supposed to be able to get. And Tennessee got it, and what an incredible dig here off the dig. And that is Neidick, the floor leader, just putting it over in 1. Defense is all about want. She wanted that one more than Florida did.
Tennessee with game point here.
Not so fast.
Not with Collymore and Chapman hanging out above the net. 29-26 now.
Well, McInnes, a tough server, a big front line for Florida with Stephanie Douglas back up front. But Tennessee has 3 more swings for game 3.
Chance for a side-out winner here. Morris slapped up. Collymore tries to go in the middle of the court, off speed, and that one hits the referee's platform, so point to Florida.
Michael Bernardo indicating the ball touched his platform, which means it is out of bounds automatically. Not the player touching it, but the ball touching it. No argument from the Tennessee bench on that one. But again, you feel the tension because Tennessee still has 2 more swings for game 3.
Here's Stoyanova.
There's it, net violation.
Net violation on the Gators. So Tennessee responds out of the locker room, taking the second straight game, 30-27, and they now lead the Gators 2-1.
Impressive stuff by Tennessee there, never really looking like they weren't confident in what they were doing, and Florida struggling in and out of times. It's vintage volleyball by 2 great teams right now.
Mary Wise talking things over with her team leader, Jane Collymore, who has been off target here today. They'll need her to get on track in game 4 if they want to survive here in the finals.
Now, there's a place where college never ends. Fox College Sports. The new network that brings you nearly 150 games from conferences like the Pac-10, Big 12, and more. Plus local coaches shows and news from around the country. This is the network college football fans always dreamed of. You're watching Fox College Sports. For more information on program listings, log on to foxcollegesports.com.
Everyone close your eyes now. Be with me. Picture yourself as a child playing dress-up. Imagine yourself as a fireman, the president, a dancer. Remember how that felt to trust yourself completely? Feel that feeling. Let it in. Did you feel that? Now that is the power of fuel.
IMAX, weeknights on FSN.
The Gators talking things over about what they can do in game 4 to slow down the Volunteers, who take game 3 30-27. Now back-to-back wins for the Vols. And let's go over to Jen Hildreth.
Kevin, I talked to Michelle Piantadosi from Tennessee before the match, and she told me, boy, have they been waiting for this one. Obviously, this has been a huge season for Tennessee, a record-breaking season win-wise, beating Florida just last week. It's already been huge, but she said they want this SEC tournament victory. She said this has been hours and hours of preparation. She almost called it a dream come true, but she said, you know what? It started out as a dream. Now it's reality. We've just been playing this well, and for us to win, this team needs 2 things. We need to believe in each other, and we need confidence, and I think we're seeing a lot of that from the Lady Vols right now.
No doubt about it, Jen. The Vols very confident, and I thought that confidence might have gotten shaken, Phil, in game 1, but no, they responded.
They're too veteran a team. They're too veteran a team, and you know that's the beauty of volleyball is each game is independent of the other one, and the game 1 is just basically, okay, forget that one. We were a little tight going into game 1, no big deal. Now we're in game 2 and 3. We're playing our style of volleyball, and right now this is really Tennessee's to lose. Florida's going to have to change something up, very much so in their serve receive, and have some different ideas what they're going to do offensively, because right now, really Tennessee has the advantage of them in terms of their offensive attack and not being shaken. You know, that game 3 was interesting, Kevin, in that the teams really were relatively even in most areas. The difference was Florida with 10 errors on the attack, which is highly unusual for a Florida team, and 4 blocks on each side, so the blocking situation kind of evened up a little bit. But what to me was interesting, though, is that I thought Tennessee just looked more comfortable playing the game. They just looked like they were more at ease in their element as opposed to the Gators.
The Gators, who are quite talented, but we also sometimes forget very young.
Well, we haven't talked about her because it's not something we talk about very much, and Florida can't talk about it, but the loss of Amber McCray to an ACL injury in the springtime was devastating to this team. All Amber McCray did last year was step in for another All-American, Benavia Jenkins, and help lead this team to the final match of the tournament against undefeated Southern Cal. So losing Amber McCray to an ACL injury in the early part of the year was just absolutely just so difficult for this team to overcome.
Williams there to deny Andre in the middle.
And again, back to that was a trap set again. Knight needed to go outside and use Andre as a fake that time because Williams was just waiting there to gobble that one apart.
Neidig, oh, saw that open spot. Over in 2 goes Tennessee's setter. Sarah Bloom now in for Tennessee, replacing Bugs, the libero player. Just over the net goes that serve of Andre. Tough to handle. Douglas off the hands, and a double hit call on Kristen Andre.
Yep. No argument that time. This is a nice play by Andre. All she can do is just try to pop the ball up in the air. Sometimes they have what's called middle blocker hands, you know, and their teammates kind of giving her a hard time about that one. That's why I say Tennessee looks comfortable. They're making mistakes, but not really letting them bother them so much.
Set for Piantadosi. Oh, she had nowhere to go once again.
Trapped. That's a setting error, and Neidig knows it. No one has to tell her what she's doing. She's making the mistake. It's a trap set. Piantadosi had no place to go.
Back to action.
Much higher.
Piantadosi this time does get it over. Was a free ball at the top of the net. Bloom has it knocked back, though. Now a chance. Neidig going deep corner. Oh, nice up. Bloom. This time they can't get it up. Collymore couldn't get a hand on it.
Well, that's good defensive work by Florida, but again, the long rallies so far are going to Tennessee. Touched by Moskovic, up by Collymore, and then just a swing by Bloom to put the ball down. But again,
Sherry Williams off the hands of Piantadosi.
We have not seen Sherry Williams in the slide attack very much, mostly because Florida's not passed well enough where she could run that slide. If they can pass better, I think she has a chance to be very effective on that attack.
Hampton serving error. Gets the Vols within a point.
Well, it's difficult when you tell your team to go for tough serves. You can't really get mad at them when they're missing them because you tell them to go for particular zones and serve tough. So you got to kind of choose what you're going to do.
Assistant coach Nick Sharonis there, charting the plays, seeing what has been working, what hasn't been for the Gators. Big set that time, and Morris was off on her timing. Collymore on with her timing finally that time.
Well, again, if you give Collymore time and a chance to get the approach, she's going to hit through and around most people, and she does that time very well. This takes her time and splits that block pretty nicely. That's only about a 3/4 speed shot for Collymore, too. She's just a big hitter. Now, this is something we saw Florida do to Tennessee in the matchup at Knoxville, Kevin, is go to the short serving game, and it did cause Tennessee some trouble, but that time Tennessee finding a way to survive. Morris with a magic shot there into the upper left-hand corner, the front left-hand corner. It's almost impossible to do, but she found a way to do it and get the ball back for the Vols.
It's hard to swing and make that ball go horizontally, but she figured out how to do it somehow. Collymore, off-speed shot, dumped over by Stoyanova. Here's Collymore. Block back. Oh, 4 hits called against the Gators, though.
Not a lot of argument out of the bench. This is such a hard ball to hit. Look at her just turn her wrist inside, take about a 3/4 shot. The ball is on the 1-foot line. That was the previous point, and then back to what happened in another one. Florida called for 4 hits.
Moskovic was brave just to get in the way of that one, and she pays for it.
Yeah, but once again, Tennessee's withstood Florida's initial run, and they're back on top here in Game 4. They just look the better team at this point in time, but can I say things like that, the ball flies into the net on serve. You should know better.
Rob Patrick giving the evil eye to Bugs there after that. Neidig sets it for Andre, jumps it over. Free ball here for the Gators. Back corner goes Neidig, dug out by Hampton, but Douglas can't get to it.
The tough plays are all going the way of the Volunteers right now. The Lady Vols just are finding the holes, finding the gaps. They're a smart, experienced team. They look comfortable, they look confident. Florida has to do some things differently in order to shake this offense apart.
Collymore dug out by Gifford in the back row. Andre with a blistering shot.
All set up by a great dig by Whitney Gifford, who's not had much of a role this year in this team, but when called upon to serve and make defensive plays, you're never going to find a bigger one. Andre gets that free swing there, and that was a huge, huge play. Tennessee now up by 2. And here come the Lady Volunteers, just continuing to keep putting pressure on the Gators.
McInnes sets it for Collymore. Douglas there to deny the shot of Morris.
Yeah, this is a tough play. Morris didn't have any place to go because Douglas put such a big block up at the net, and I think Tennessee actually thought they were going to dig that one in all likelihood.
There's Collymore with a long runway.
Passed so well though by the Lady Vols.
Morris has it blocked. Ball sits on top of the net. Tennessee hits it over. Free ball for the Gators. Here's Douglas. And off the hands of Andre. Kill for Stephanie Douglas, who now has 9 in the match.
Can Florida put a run on Tennessee? It's not happened since game 1.
Tied up at 8.
Whoa.
Free ball at the top of the net for Hampton. And the Gators have climbed back on top.
Well, Jane Collymore put a little bit of extra spice on that serve. You can tell that she knows that her team really needs her to come up with something big offensively right now. And the serve is an offensive weapon.
Oh, that was a tough one to handle, but Buggs did it. But passing error.
Miscommunication between Neidig and Andre that time, looking at each other. That was passed extremely well for a rocket shot, but this miscommunication, Neidig had the play she wanted. Andre was going in the middle. She expected Andre to come back and around her on the slide.
Neidig sets it for Andre. Oh, great dig by McInnes. Here's a set for Morris, and she splits the block.
And that's not easy to do, and part of that block's Michelle Chapman, so credit Amy Morris that time. And Tennessee hung tough. That's the first mini run I've seen Florida put on Tennessee. So now what will Tennessee do in response?
They'll get a piece of Michelle Chapman's shot. Hampton tries to put it back over, and that one goes out of bounds. So a kill for Marcy Hampton, who now has 14, just behind Collymore, who leads the Gators with 15. Chapman serving. Neidig, good set for Piantadosi off the hands. McInnes sets it for Williams. Oh, yeah.
Too fast.
3-point lead for Florida. Buggs with the dig. Neidig over in 2. Dug out by the Gators, but a free ball at the top of the net. Neidig can't put it down. Hampton. A reminder for some of our audience, you will be leaving us momentarily to join Arizona and Virginia basketball. We'll keep everyone abreast of the score, though, that has left us, and we're glad for those of you who could stay with us as we've got a barn burner here in Game 4. Florida down 2-1, but leading by 2 here in Game 4.
I would say clinging to the second to a 2-point lead, but Tennessee threatening to tighten it up.
Engel, nice up, but nobody can get it over the net. Back to a 1-point game.
One of the advantages that Tennessee has had throughout all of games 2 and 3 and into 4 is their back row has just been more solid from a passing perspective than Florida's. Florida has to continue to improve their passing so they can do things like that, but Amy Morris finds a way to bring that one up as well.
That's why she was the SEC Defensive Player of the Year.
Not that one.
Andre can't handle that one. It goes 3 rows deep.
Thing is, though, every time that Florida swings and Tennessee digs it back, even though they may not get a kill off of it, they're making Florida think about how good a shot do I have to swing at to put the ball down on the Lady Volunteers.
Neidig to Piantadosi, off the hands. McInnes, Williams, Here's Stoyanova. Nice quick hands by the Gators.
Oh,
they get a hand on that one as well. And Hampton gets a good swing at it. Over and two goes Neidig.
Engel read it.
Here's Hampton again. Critical point here. Pianadosi. Goes wide.
It's a great rally on both sides.
Rob Patrick up off the bench applauding his team's effort anyway, telling them don't worry about that one.
Boy, that one didn't miss by much. That was right past the line there. Great rally on both sides. Rachel Engel with several acrobatic digs for the Gators.
Passing error here, free ball for the Gators. Set for Hampton. Pianadosi off the hands. McInnes set. Williams, no. Little collision between Neidig and Morris that time, so another chance here for Florida. They'll set it for Hampton again. Yeah, that's right down the pipe. Gators lead 15-11 here in game 4, and a standing O for the Gators, who are trying to knot this one up at 2 games apiece.
This is the morning glory round. Dear, I want you to come and see the Jasmine Garden. Isn't it lovely? Adorable.
Excuse me, where's the TV?
Television?
Get the sports information you need anywhere with Fox Sports Mobile. Play-by-play action, up-to-the-minute scores and news. Fox Sports Mobile, your sports lifeline.
IMAX, weeknights on FSN.
Tennessee up a game on the Gators, but Florida leading here in game 4. And just another quick reminder for our audience, immediately following our broadcast, we'll send you out to college basketball. Number 10 Arizona taking on Virginia. Check the local listings in your area. But plenty still to come from here, as the Gators are not going to go quietly.
Oh, no. Wouldn't expect them to. They're going to fight for every point. Even though they may not have had their A game today, they're playing with every ounce of energy they have in order to keep this thing moving forward.
Let's go over to Jen Hildreth.
Guys, I was just listening in over on the Tennessee bench. Rob Patrick looked at his team. He was like, we got it, guys. A lot of confidence over there. He stayed very calm. He knows his team is playing well. He basically just said, just keep what you're doing. And Julie Neidig, the setter that is such the emotional leader for this team, she said, come on, guys, don't let up. So that Tennessee team very confident right now that they can win this.
Signs of a veteran club.
Yes, they have every reason to be confident. They're the more experienced team. They've been playing better since that game 1. And Florida has had a difficult time putting runs on Tennessee, and Tennessee has just been a better side-out team on a regular basis.
Serving error from Moskovic doesn't help matters, as now it's a 3-point lead for Florida. McInnes sets it for Williams.
Oh! Passing so important. As long as the pass goes over there, there's very few players in the nation that match up with the explosiveness of Sherry Williams. She gets up in the air so fast. She can take almost anybody in the nation out with those swings.
Give credit to Morris for making a valiant effort at that one. Here's Hampton's serve. Neidig to Stoyanova. Dug up by Engel. Here's McInnes set for Collymore. Half swing. Stoyanova with the off-speed shot this time. Moskovic sets it for Collymore.
Nothing off-speed about that.
Williams. This time, Morris does dig it out. But another free ball for Florida. Here's Williams again. They keep going back to her. This time, they'll go to Collymore. Bugs maybe should have let that one go. And now it's a point for Florida.
Well played rally by both sides. Nothing bad about that. Just good, solid volleyball on both sides at an incredibly high level. Collymore and Williams kept taking big swings, and Tennessee kept digging them all up. Amy Morris laying out a couple of different times for those balls, but eventually Collymore won the battle.
Stoyanova, big lefty. Wide right. And a timeout for the Volunteers, as the lead has now stretched to 6.
First time really Florida's had a dominant position in this match since game 1, Kevin. They've been able to keep things close, maybe even have a 1-point lead here or there, but this is the first time I've seen Tennessee really struggle a little bit. But it's typical when you have two great teams. They punch and counterpunch so hard at each other. They're going to try different things and press different points. Right now, Florida's serving more aggressively, and I think Collymore and Williams have taken it up a notch from an aggressiveness point of view at the front of the net, swinging-wise.
Looking back at the Gators season, 25-3 overall, 15-1 in the SEC, co-champions along with Tennessee. Currently ranked 10 in the country, and the 14 straight SEC regular season championship. That's a mark that will probably never be broken.
No. And I think what's interesting about it is that even though that they lost that match to Tennessee and they've been pressed a lot, I think it's a really critical situation here. You know, we started, the last time that Florida lost this match was in '97 against Arkansas in Athens, 3-0, when Arkansas just put on a clinic. But other than that, you see Florida beating Arkansas nearly every year except LSU that one year. And it's an impressive situation when you're always there every single time.
And usually it's been a win by domination. But
yes, not today.
Not going to happen today if they claim their 7th in a row. Collymore, Stoyanova.
Like I said, Collymore's taking it up a notch at the net, and so has Williams. They're going to swing hard, and they're going to go for it. They're going to lose. They're going to lose being aggressive. They're not going to lose swinging, taking half-speed swings. All that's over with now.
Bugs, Nightic, Stoyanova off the hands, dug out in the back row by Hampton. Here's Collymore again, this time off speed. Nightic down to her knees to get to that one. Once again off the hands, Stoyanova hasn't been at her best today. She'll have to put this one over. Here's a chance for Florida. Over and 2 goes McGinnis. Morris plays it back over. Nice layout by Moskovic. Collymore, no. Denied by Bloom and Piantadosi. They'll go back to her again. Quite a rally we have going here. Stoyanova into the net.
Long rallies. Tennessee was winning them all earlier. Now guess what? Now Florida's starting to put some pressure on Tennessee for the first time since game 1, and it's affecting so far, and this is the most dominating run we've seen from the Gators since game 1.
They missed the offensive presence of Yulia Stoyanova, who has not been on today. Williams, on the other hand, has, and is really starting to turn it up.
Like I said, Williams and Collymore all of a sudden looked up at the scoreboard and said, down 2-1, it is time for us to really step up. And the Gator All-Conference and All-American players are absolutely doing that.
11 kills now for Williams in the match. That one scraping off the hands of Piantadosi.
Well, it's been a 6-1 run in the last 2 timeouts, and neither one that Rob Patrick has called has made any difference. And Williams is, like I said, just stepping it up one more level. You know, players can't play it, that they can't put every ball straight down. When it's time for really the best players to step up, what's typically going to happen is the best ones who are at the net are the ones who are going to really make the difference. And you see in the fire right now in the eyes of Collymore and Williams in particular from their offensive end.
Their 6-0 run now pushing the lead out to 9. And the crowd pour into it now than maybe any time today.
Well, if you force a game 5, you know, honestly, if you're on a neutral court, you like Tennessee's chances because they have been recently the better blocking team, although today it's been Florida's have been the better blocking team. But it's been such a momentum swing back and forth, you just don't know. You really just don't know.
Really unfamiliar territory for the Gators to be pushed like they have many times this season. And they're probably still learning how to take it. The upperclassmen trying their best to help out some of the younger players. There's Sarah Bloom in the middle.
Well, Sarah Bloom was going hunting that time. She went after that one with a vengeance. And again, if you serve easy to this Tennessee team, their offensive weapons are many. Gifford with that long float serve that's caused Gators some problems passing-wise. Not this time, though.
Again, it's set for Williams. Dug out with nobody home after Gifford gets to it. Just a reminder for our audience, immediately following our broadcast, we'll send you out to men's basketball, number 10 Arizona taking on Virginia, coming up immediately following the conclusion of the match here in Gainesville. Taylor Williams now in to serve for Florida.
That ball may have been long, but I'm not sure the way that float serve dies, it would have been. Amy Morris just hit a rocket of her own.
That one came off of Hampton like a ricochet off a wall. Nobody able to get to that one. 22-14 now in favor of Florida.
We have not talked much about Cynthia Buggs. We just got through serving for Tennessee, but she has played extremely well since she came in. From a passing perspective, she has really done the job for Tennessee. Made a huge difference in their offensive flow by being able to pass effectively and get the ball into Nidek's hands. And big block of the net by Andre.
2 times in a row they stopped Collymore. The second time for a point. 22-15 now, Florida. All-speed angled shot that time for Morris. They'll go back to Collymore. Oh, there's the open spot.
That's a great shot by Collymore. Again, a vision play. You just look at the court. You know you haven't got a great set to work with. You just find open floor. 900 square feet. Collymore says, I can find one of those square feet right there.
Again, this reminds me of the new punting style we're seeing in college football quite a bit with that side step. Stoyanova, no, dug out by Engel. Here's Collymore, he'll just tap it over. Andre, not a great set by Stoyanova. Blocked, but out of bounds off the hands of Andre.
We're gonna go 5. And as you know, it really should be that way to go inside this championship. These two teams having split the matches during the season. Florida pretty much now is going to be able to run this out. And we're going to probably go 5, and that's the way it should be.
I think Andre off the hands of Chapman. Hampton just has to come down the middle and send that one over. Here's a chance. Chapman with the block and then digs it out. Hampton with a big swing out of the back row.
Great dig by Gifford, keeping this one alive.
McGinnis over to Collymore. Off the hands. Buggs makes a dive at it, but can't get to it.
Collymore making all the strong plays that Florida needs right now. And this is just a swing about 7/8, even not still her full swing, but just finding hands along the way as the ball goes out of bounds. The angle it came at made it very, very difficult for Tennessee to dig it.
Double-digit lead now for Florida, up by 10. 5 points away from sending this to Game 5.
Ooh. Florida fans screaming for a lift on that one. They may have had a case. It turned out it didn't matter. It was not a ball that Nidek could set very well. And Tennessee now has to be thinking about regrouping for Game 5 because we're going to go there.
Gifford to Nidek. Set for Stoyanova.
Good job by
Stoyanova. Goes off the hands of Collymore.
I always like to say that even when you're losing a game in a big way like this, if you're a coach, what you want to do is get some side outs, get some points, start getting back in rhythm for Game 5, or the next game in this case is Game 5. And that's really important.
Again, it's set for Collymore, and there was Jane Collymore rising high.
Well, again, when Florida can pass and move Collymore in like that, this is basically an X. Collymore is going to come, excuse me, not an X. Collymore's hitting an inside ball, bringing Chapman around to the right side. It's a very effective play.
What a match. 19 kills, 19 digs for the junior all-SEC outside hitter. Hello, Michelle Chapman.
Well, here comes Chapman again, and she's back to up what she's been doing. That's 10 block assists along with a solo for her, and she's been the blocking story today for this team.
Once again, following this match, we'll send you out to Arizona and Virginia men's basketball, so stay tuned following the conclusion of the match here in Gainesville, which is just on the verge of going to Game 5. This is the first time we've seen Annie Sadowski since game 1 after she was replaced in the libero role by Cynthia Buggs. Coming in to serve here for Tennessee. Maybe just to give Morris a blow before game 5 where they're going to really need her.
They are. Because if Tennessee doesn't serve tougher than this, Florida's offense is going to be coming at all pace right now, because Chapman, Collymore, Williams, and Douglas are all teeing off right now on very good sets from McGinnis.
Chapman now serving for game point. Tough to handle Piantadosi. Sherry Williams there to meet her at the top of the net and put it into game 4. Florida dominating in this frame, 30-17. And we go to decisive game number 5 here in Gainesville. It's what you would expect from the top 2 teams in the conference. And we'll play it up in game 5 for the SEC Tournament Championship coming up next.
Meet Bob. Bob went to Arizona. His friend went to Nebraska. And their other friend, Florida State. Now they all live together in LA. So how do they follow their favorite college teams? With Fox College Sports, featuring over 800 NCAA games each year on 3 regionally aligned channels. FCS Pacific, FCS Central, and FCS Atlantic. All the games that matter in one powerful package. You're watching Fox College Sports. For more information on program listings, log on to foxcollegesports.com. Fox College Sports, where college never ends.
Tune into Fox Sports for the best sports coverage around. Then, let the new foxsports.com on MSN take you beyond the field. Log on today for up-to-the-minute headlines, real-time scores on every page, hot sports opinions from your favorite Fox Sports personalities, tons of free video, cool interactive features, play fantasy games, and get everything you need to win with expert analysis from the sporting news. Experience a new world of sports. foxsports.com on MSN. IMAX, weeknights on FSN.
Game 5 may be about who's got the most left in the tank. For more on that, we go over to Jen Hildreth.
Boy, it doesn't look like either of these teams ready to let up, especially Florida in that last game. And you know, Florida strength and conditioning coach Matt Delancey told me he thought that the Gators' conditioning would be the difference in this match. He felt so confident that his team was in the best shape between these 2 teams on the floor, and he creates individual programs for each of his athletes, especially for their needs, and it's really, the program here is just incredible. The players say they feel it gives them an edge. Jane Collymore said this facility and Matt Delancey gives us a huge edge over anyone else in the country.
Phil, you look at Matt Delancey, I wouldn't have a problem if he told me to do anything. I'd do it.
I'd do it.
In a heartbeat. I wouldn't question him.
Lift that. Okay, yes, sir. No problem.
How many times, sir?
Yes. Do as many as I can, sir. Yeah, he also warms and stretches the players out before each match and travels with the team in that regard too. So, you know, it's basically the commitment that Florida has to their volleyball program here. You have an individual of that caliber assigned to this program during the fall year. And I think that's what's impressive about it, is not just how good these players are conditioned. I think all volleyball players are in pretty good condition, but the continued commitment that Florida has to that during the season is extremely good.
Well, as we head to game 5 here in the SEC Championship match, of course, the first 4 games is Raleigh scoring to 30. Here in game 5, it's Raleigh scoring to 15. You must win by 2, just like in the other games, but boy, does this one move fast, every point critical, and fall behind quickly in this one. It's usually over, except Florida showed us yesterday against Georgia, not always the case.
Yeah, you know, Florida's had 4 of these matches this year, including one just yesterday, where they won and found a way to win, being down 10-4 in the 5th.
And we all remember last Sunday in game 5, Yulia Stoyanova coming through for the Tennessee Vols. Game point here in game 5 as Tennessee stuns Florida, ending their NCAA record 145 straight regular season win streak. Also 121 straight wins overall in the SEC, both of those NCAA records. And also 109 straight conference wins at home, all 3 of those out the window, thanks to the Tennessee Vols. But Florida could make all that go away with a win right here.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, you know, Mary Wise, being the consummate coach that she is, told her team, he said, you know, it doesn't matter. You know, we still the co-champions of the conference regular season. We still win the tournament championship. We learn from this and we move on. And I think they learned yesterday about winning in 5.
You saw Yulia Stoyanova there. That was the biggest swing of her Tennessee career, you can bet, as a freshman. And she starts out game 5 on the bench, though, as the Vols take a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, and I look here for what I call these quick break points. And Tennessee already up 1 where they get a point on their serve, and that's the critical thing. And they have a chance for a second one early on.
Hampton.
And there it is.
Slapped back, and Collymore can't get to it.
Look for fast timeouts from both sides, because as you said, Kevin, this moves real quick, and you cannot afford to get by many points before you change something up.
2-0 in favor of Tennessee. Hampton off the hands.
Not a great set that time.
Piantadosi off speed. Just out of the reach of Hampton and Williams. 3-0 Tennessee.
Mary Wise really letting her troops have it, reminding them what's at stake here. Finally a good pass. But Tennessee again finds a way. 4-0.
Nitik sends it right down the sideline, and Florida calls timeout, trailing 4-0 here in game 5. Can Tennessee make it back-to-back wins over the Gators in 5? This one to claim the conference title. Right now, they say yes.
Everyone close your eyes now. Be with me. Picture yourself as a child playing dress-up. Imagine yourself as a fireman, the president, a dancer. Remember how that felt to trust yourself completely? Feel that feeling. Let it in. Did you feel that? Now that is the power of fuel.
IMAX, weeknights on FSN.
Tennessee apparently has plenty left in the tank. They come out, jump out 4-0 here in game 5. But Williams gets Florida on the board.
Well, it's all about passing. And at this point in time, when you put balls up that Kristen Andre and Michelle Piantadosi can nail down like that, that's where you go down 4-0. When you pass and you get Sherry Williams, the All-American, in the mix offensively, it makes a big difference. But Florida's already dug themselves a hole. To 15, you just really cannot afford to get by that many points.
Great dig by Collymore. And Hampton thought she had it in. So did everyone here in the O'Connell Center wearing orange and blue.
Well, that flag went up real slowly at the end.
Let's take a look.
Whoa, boy.
Ouch. 5-1 Tennessee. Make it 5-2. They go back to Williams again.
I would ride Sherry Williams as long as I could right now. She has been the only player that when she's had the swings, 15 kills, only 2 errors, and 34 swings, has been practically unstoppable.
Nitik sets it to Bloom on the slide, and there she was.
The serve was just simply too easy. You give a serve that easy to this team, Nitik's going to find one of these big targets and put the ball down.
Nobody there to contest it except Collymore, and she just zips it right past her. 6-2 Tennessee. Collymore says, I am going to take my swings now.
Well, again, when the serves are easy, you see teams go, but Tennessee now can change strategy a little bit. They've got a 3-point lead. They can do a few different things now, where Florida's got to take a few more chances of trying to even this game up pretty quickly.
Stoyanova back in for Tennessee. Taylor Williams in now, serving for Florida. Bugs, not a good pass, and this will be a free ball for Florida. Collymore, McInnes, back to Collymore.
No,
goes wide.
She missed.
Once again, immediately following the match, we'll send you out to Virginia against Arizona basketball. Immediately following this match. For those of you watching on FSN South, Pac-10 ACC showdown coming your way. Right now it's an SEC showdown in volleyball. Collymore trying to go off hands, does not get the touch call. 8-3 now in favor of Tennessee's. The Vols the first to 8 here as we switch sides.
Well, Collymore that time did not have a set she could swing at, so she tried to use a white play, but she just missed hands, and I think it was a good no call by the ref officials. They did not see a touch.
But yesterday, Phil, we saw the Gators come back from 10-4 miraculously in Game 5 against Georgia. Can they do it again here?
They're doing it against a team that is so focused and so loose, it looks like to me on the floor right now. I don't know. And they've got so many offensive weapons. It's going to be tough.
Hampton, McInnes sets it for Chapman. Stoyanova gets a hand on it. They'll go back to Morris, who got that breather at the end of Game 4. Denied that time are the Volunteers at the top of the net. 8-4 now.
But still, right now, UT is up 5 points in terms of the breaks. They're up 4 on the scoreboard. They've scored 5 points on their serve, which gives them a huge, 5 points on their serve. Gives them a huge advantage.
Stoyanova. She's been quiet today, but that was a big one.
We'll translate it out. All the Lady Vols have to do now is side out 6 times, and they're the SEC tournament champions. And that seems pretty hard for me to not imagine that happening with their offense.
Mary Wise, a big believer in whoever blocks wins titles in Tennessee right now, getting it done in Game 5.
Guess what? It's 10-4 again. Just where we were yesterday. 10-4 in the 5th. But you just have a sense that Tennessee was waiting to explode.
Is that still in the memory banks of the Gators? Do they dare look up at the scoreboard right now and remember what they did yesterday? It's going to be a free ball for Tennessee. Neidig to Stoyanova, the big lefty. Hampton will set it for Collymore. Long. 11-4. On a timeout called by Mary Wise as the Gators have dug themselves almost an insurmountable hole here in Game 5.
This is very, very hard stuff now. Florida has just, again, Tennessee just has not made any mistakes here in this game. They're hitting 300, Florida hitting minus 250 with 7 attack errors in Game 5, which is just unheard of for a Gator team. But it comes down to getting the pass and getting a situation where you can run your offense. And right now, Florida has only been able to run their offense a couple of times, and Tennessee's run it almost completely unmatched.
Tennessee has not won in this title game since 1984. Trying to break a 20-year drought and do it against a team that has dominated this tournament in the last decade.
And they're on their home floor, I might add, and that's even more impressive. But like I said, Tennessee has just looked the more confident team. Even when they have lost games, they've kind of shrugged it off and said, okay, on to the next one. And I think, credit Florida with having this the basis to come back in the game they came back in Game 4. But here's Tennessee right back in their plan from where they were in Games 2 and 3.
How much confidence could the Volunteers have gathered off of that win just a week ago? It looks like plenty. 12-4 now, Tennessee. Immediately following this match, number 10 Arizona taking on Virginia. Men's basketball coming your way immediately following this match.
Missed.
Douglas, wide right, 13-4, Tennessee. 2 points away from claiming the tournament title. Collymore, blocked out of bounds, kill for Jane Collymore.
The hole now, though, is so great. Collymore was looking up at 10-4 yesterday when she went back on her serve. Now she's looking up at 13-5. This is very, very difficult.
Double-digit kills for Collymore in 26 of the 27 matches she's played in this year, but right now it doesn't mean a whole lot. Andre dug out. Here's Hampton. Volunteers go to Stoyanova. Collymore digs it out again. Hampton.
No.
Into the net. 14-5. Championship point for Tennessee.
Lady Ball substitution number 2, Jasmine Polo, still center. Match point, Tennessee.
They shared the regular season title with the Florida Gators. Trying to make it a tournament title, and they will share it with no one. Tennessee is the 2004 tournament champions.
3 games to 2.
You can't say enough about the job that Rob Patrick and his team have done doing in here and beating a team on their home floor in Game 5, 15-5, and very few teams have a chance to do that against Florida. Congratulations to the Lady Vols and Rob Patrick.
Once again, the final score from Gainesville. Tennessee wins the championship 3 games to 2 over the Florida Gators. For my partner, Phil Bush, our entire crew, and those on Sunshine, basketball is next. For those on FNN South, ACC basketball, Arizona and Virginia. Tennessee are your 2004 tournament champions.
Meet Bob. Bob went to Arizona. His friend went to Nebraska. And their other friend, Florida State. Now they all live together in LA. So how do they follow their favorite college teams? With Fox College Sports, featuring over 800 NCAA games each year on 3 regionally aligned channels. FCS Pacific, FCS Central, and FCS Atlantic. All the games that matter in one powerful package. You're watching Fox College Sports. For more information on program listings, log on to foxcollegesports.com. Fox College Sports, where college never ends.
IMAX, weeknights on FSN. Tune into Fox Sports for the best sports coverage around. Then, let the new foxsports.com on MSN take you beyond the field. Log on today for up-to-the-minute headlines, real-time scores on every page, hot sports opinions from your favorite Fox Sports personalities, tons of free video, cool interactive features, play fantasy games, and get everything you need to win with expert analysis from the sporting news. Experience a new world of sports. foxsports.com on MSN.
Everyone close your eyes now. Be with me. Picture yourself as a child playing dress-up. Imagine yourself as a fireman, the president, a dancer. Remember how that felt to trust yourself completely? Feel that feeling. Let it in. Did you feel that? Now that is the power of fuel.
IMAX, weeknights on FSN.
Last night, Michigan Tech stormed into Denver looking to end the Pioneers' dominance at home.